One ticket has been punched for the national championship game. That would be the Purdue Boilermakers as they took down the NC State Wolfpack in our first Final Four game. And we are back live on Chat Sports, but as well as the Alabama football channel that we host for Alabama and UConn as the first top seed Connecticut Huskies take on the fourth-seeded Alabama Crimson Tide for the right to play the Purdue Boilermakers on Monday evening in the national championship game. I am Nic Rohloff. We will be joined by Tyler Smith for tonight's game action. UConn looking to go back-to-back would be the first team to do so since 06-07 Florida Gators. Dan Hurley and this Connecticut team have been rolling through the tournament. Was it now 10 straight games of beating their opponents by double digits or more in the NCAA tournament? We'll see if they can continue to roll, but Nate Oats and company out of the SAC have different ideas. Welcome in, Tyler Smith, and shout out your city for us down below. We had a very fun game between Purdue and NC State that we were live for a little bit earlier. Took a nice little break of 10-15 minutes in between, and as we are about 10 minutes away from tip, 8 minutes, whatever you want to say, we are ready for our second game of the night.
I have to say, Rolly, I am most excited. This was a game I was looking forward to when I saw the four teams that would be playing in Phoenix, UConn and Alabama, two teams that could really put the ball in the cup, but can the UConn defense stifle Alabama's high-powered energy offense enough to roll on in this trend of kind of taking teams to the woodshed here in the NCAA tournament?
I mean, it's been 10 straight games where they've won by double digits in the tournament. They won all 6 games last year on their run to a national title by 10+, and the 4 games this year have been even more dominant than that. Stetson, they just absolutely blew by them. Then they played Northwestern and dismantled the Wildcats of Northwestern, and then it was even uglier in their Boston regional. San Diego State got bludgeoned, and then the game against the Illinois Fighting Illini was even worse. 30-0 run in that game. The Huskies have been playing very good ball, so it's going to be a tall task for Nate Oats and company to take them down tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, UConn looks like a wagon that ain't stopping anytime soon. But hey, maybe this is the team. A lot of guys thought that potentially Illinois could be that team that can keep up with the pace and can put the ball in the basket as efficiently as the UConn Huskies can do. Maybe that is the Alabama Crimson Tide, who we saw explode against the Clemson Tigers in the second half of their Elite Eight matchup in Los Angeles. And they kind of took that one over on the offensive end, smacking threes. Mark Sears down the stretch was phenomenal. Let's see if he can play well against a talented veteran backcourt in Tristan Newton and Cam Spencer tonight for the Huskies.
Yeah, we got a lot of people tuning in already, which is just good to see. Shout out Myers, Jonathan Taylor, Raw Blog News, Tie Man, Daniel Berry, Sports, LA. We got Jose from Philadelphia. Jonathan says, I'm an Auburn fan. Oh, boy. But then on our Alabama channel, we have JJ in Harperville. Leah Ann saying Roll Tide Roll. Linda Freeman saying Roll Tide. If you're watching on our Alabama channel, yeah, this face does not look like either Chris Daughtry or Tom Downey. Those two guys do a fantastic job. They're just handing it over to the college basketball guys. Those two aren't the biggest hoop guys, but that's why it's the Alabama football channel. But they thought it would be still pretty fun for all you guys if we were able to come up here and have some fun for this game. Let us know who you got. It looks like we might be getting actually underway earlier than we anticipated. It was a 7:49 tip that was scheduled. It looks like teams are getting ready to go. It looks like they might head to one more commercial before we get fully underway in Glendale, Arizona. But game going to be tipped off in potentially 5 minutes. Continue to let us know who you got. We see Ty Man and Brandon, Timothy, Michael typing Bama in our Alabama chat with 50 people watching. Shout out to all of you guys. Make sure you've hit that thumbs up icon as well. 180 people watching on our Chat Sports channel. Only 20 likes, so let us know who you got as well as hitting that like icon. Let's get up to 50 likes before tip-off.
Absolutely.
If we can. Lopes is in the building. LA, GR, Wanda, all letting us know where they're watching from. And before we get into game action in about 5 minutes, we do have to tell everyone about one of our sponsors on today's live show. They sponsored our first Final Four watch party with Purdue and NC State. They are back again for this one. It is Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America. They make playing daily fantasy oh so fun, and you could win up to 100 times your money right now when you go to Prize Picks and just pick 4 stat projections, pick more than or less than. April is here, which means the biggest basketball is being played on the hardwood, whether it be the men's and women's tournament, whether it be the playoffs push in the NBA. We have it all at Prize Picks. Get started in the action. Don't miss out. Just pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Download the app today and use code CLNS and input code CLNS to get a first deposit match up to $100. Or you could go to the link in the live chats in both channels for prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS. Get a first deposit match up to $100. My picks for tonight's Final Four action. I did a flex play. Unfortunately, I did not win this game. First one I had with Edey, I took more than on 25.5 points. He only had 20. So I have to go perfect on Cam Spencer, more than 15.5 points, and more than Donovan Clingan, 9.5 rebounds. It's certainly possible.
I like those picks.
I just like doing flex plays because they allow me some security.
Yeah.
Not as big of a payout, but better chance that I get a correct
safety
pick.
blanket for you.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get the job done for tonight. Like I said, download the app today, code CLNS. Get started today with the #1 daily fantasy sports app there is. Oh, we got Gamer Snake saying go UConn. Tie Man is clearly rooting for the Alabama Crimson Tide today. Wanda said no one betting Alabama money line, not here, but okay, Wanda, so strictly against the Tide. Michael saying roll Tide.
I saw Jonathan Taylor saying UConn because he hates Bama. He says he's an Auburn fan.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen.
Potentially Auburn. I mean, I definitely believed it before the tournament. Definitely a little bit of a misguided thought by me, thinking that Auburn could, make a run and potentially challenge UConn there in a potential Sweet 16 matchup. Obviously, they lost to the Yale Bulldogs in the round of 64, so a little bit of a miscalculation by me, and I'm sure Jonathan Taylor as well.
Misguided. What? Smitty not knowing what he's talking about? I'm playing. Smitty knows what he's talking about here. I see a lot of RTRs in the chat over on our Alabama channel. That obviously means Roll Tide Roll. I kind of like that, RTR, a little action to it. If you're rooting for Alabama tonight, instead of typing Bama, type the RTRs.
Yeah.
Give me the RTRs down below. Starting lineups being introduced. Aaron Estrada, Grant Nelson, Pringle, Mark Sears headlining that starting group. A lot of people comparing him to Jalen Brunson as of late. Rylan Griffen as well for the Crimson Tide. We see JJ and Linda Freeman typing those RTRs. Swizzle for Shizzle.
I wanted to say
that going name with so the UConn Huskies.
That's a great name.
Mark says Arizona graduate living in Brazil. Okay. Rooting for the Huskies, first back-to-back since Gators. It's certainly an interesting storyline.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they look like the best team that's had the possibility to do it, and they've been showcasing that in this tournament.
They are very dynamic. Dan Hurley, fiery head coach, returning players from last year's championship team like Tristan Newton, like Donovan Clingan, like Alex Caravan, but then they have new faces like Stephon Castle, Cam Spencer into the rotation. A couple freshmen off the bench as well. It's going to be very intriguing to see if the Huskies can do it all. They have 3 guys that were main contributors on that title team last season that are ready to try to get the first back-to-back since 2006-2007. Michael says, stay out of foul trouble for Nelson will be important. It is, and I will give Alabama credit. They do have a plethora of bigs to compete with UConn's bigs. The Huskies really just have 2 traditional centers, Donovan Clingan being one of them, the other being Samson Johnson off the bench. Now with the Crimson Tide, you have Grant Nelson, you have Pringle, you have a very even matchup in that front court. To me, it's going to be intriguing to see what happens on the perimeter. How will freshman Stephon Castle handle the moment for the Huskies? How will Griffen play? How can he get open from beyond the arc? Aaron Estrada and Mark Sears have been the driving force of this electric Alabama offense for most of the year. And if the Crimson Tide want to get to the championship game to take on the Purdue Boilermakers, they're going to have to hit their threes, something NC State couldn't do against Purdue, and that's the reason why they lost to the number 1 seed Boilermakers. If the Nate Oats-led Crimson Tide aren't able to knock down the majority of their threes tonight, we might see 2 1 seeds facing off in the national championship game.
And selfishly, I think a lot of people want to see that Purdue-UConn matchup. But, hey, Alabama can run with the best of them. And if they ended up getting in a shooting contest with Purdue in the national championship game, I think either team has any opportunity to win that ball game. So very interesting dynamics we have going on in this game. UConn could beat you in a lot of different ways. And for a guy like Stephon Castle, this is an opportunity for him to potentially raise his NBA draft stock.
A lot of people think he could be a top 5 pick already, one of the top players from the collegiate level, but we'll see. We do have 25 likes on our Chat Sports channel, 28 on Alabama, 213 people watching, by the way, on Chat Sports, only 75 on Alabama. If you are watching on our Chat Sports stream, how are you allowing 80 people from Alabama to outlike you? That feels like it's embarrassing if you're me, but if you're Alabama, you're also showing that roll tide, roll pride over there.
Absolutely.
Continue to hit the like button. We're not going to pin the 2 channels that we're live on against each other, but I will say it's a little intriguing that Alabama's outworking Chat Sports on the like game. So continue to hit that like button on both channels. We're live for free. What else can you ask for, folks?
Absolutely. And with this last commercial break here, the tip-off will be coming up next.
So they lied.
Yeah, both starting lineups have been announced, so they went to commercial one more time. And looks like they're not getting started on their predicted 7:49 Central Time.
I thought they were going to do it. We are about to get underway.
They're getting very close. So if you guys are ready for tip-off in this last Final Four game of the night, why don't you spam me down in the chat, both in the Alabama Football Report and here at Chat Sports. Spam those me's, get the chat rate pumping, get the blood vessels going so we can get more people in this Final Four live stream having a good time with us here.
Still only 29 likes on our Chat Sports stream. That's embarrassing, folks. I'm telling you right now.
Ooh.
I will end the stream early if we don't get likes.
He has the power to do that.
I do have the power to do that. I've been granted that power by the bosses. I have more power than Smitty, that's for
Definitely.
sure. And we're going to do that. UConn's wearing their whites. Alabama wearing those crimson unis. We're underway in Phoenix for the second Final Four game. Tip won by Donovan Clingan, and the Huskies will start with the ball. The transfer from Eastern Carolina from a couple of years ago, Tristan Newton headlines that backcourt for Connecticut.
Here we go.
He has it now. Mark Sears and him will be a fantastic matchup. They leave the freshman Stephon Castle open from 3, and it rattles in and out, so Alabama gets a stop on the opening possession. The other way for Alabama, it's Estrada getting a screen from Pringle, working inside, kicks it out to Griffen, who's marked by Cam Spencer, the transfer from Rutgers. Clingan had 5 blocks in the game against Illinois in the Elite 8. Gets a 1 block here early. Grant Nelson caught it on the short roll and just was rejected by the big man inside from UConn.
It's going to be very important for the Huskies to get Clingan in a rhythm, kind of get him comfortable early because as this team goes, he goes.
I mean, Clingan is just one of the best shot blockers that we have in our game. That's why a lot of people want that matchup between him and Edey. Grant Nelson will launch a 3, and he connects. So Alabama strikes first in this one. And I'll tell you what, that's what Nelson brings to the table that some other bigs UConn have faced does not, is the ability to space the floor. The transfer from North Dakota State has been phenomenal for Nate Oats this year. Castle's being dared to shoot. He'll shoot another 3. Sure. This one connects. It looks like Nate Oats' game plan was to put Nelson on Castle and dare him to shoot the 3. Only a 30% three-point shooter, but he is very capable. His stroke is better than what the numbers suggest.
Absolutely.
Nelson misses the sweeping right hook. Rebound by the Huskies. Up ahead to Castle. Castle backing down Sears. Sears gives up some size. Castle on the baseline. Pump fake layup is good. And the talented 5-star freshman and projected lottery pick has the first 5 points of the game for the Huskies. Estrada drives in, drops off the Pringle, back out to Sears. Sears launches about 9 threes a game, so Huskies will have to be up on him all night. Griffen coming off of a curl. Drop off the Pringle inside. Does not get it to go. I don't know if that's a block, but either way, it's a board for Clingan. Newton up ahead to Castle. That almost went in. Accidentally. It was a pass. Gathered by Cam Spencer over to Caravan. Caravan inside. That's a block called on Griffen. Honestly, I thought that could have went either way, but it will be officially called a foul on Griffen, and Alex Karaban will go to the line for 2 for UConn.
2 minutes in this game, up-tempo, kind of what we expected. Not a lot of room for color commentary with the way these teams get up and down the floor.
No, I'll tell you this too, Smitty, by the way. I am shocked by the game plan of just allowing Stephon Castle to shoot every shot he wants.
He's kind of a microwave. Once he kind of gets in a rhythm, there's no stopping him. So, very interesting game plan, like you mentioned.
I get the statistics of it, but he is just simply a much better shooter when you watch him. Like, the shot form is not broke. When he puts up a shot, you're not, like, just thinking there's no chance this goes in. Like, he's a confident shooter, and they've dared him to shoot. Karaban goes 2 for 2, so 7-3 is the lead for UConn early. The question is, can Alabama even keep it competitive with UConn? No one's been able to do it in 10 straight tournament games.
It's just the fact that UConn is so good on both ends. Like, they're dominant on defense and offense.
Pringle inside. He could have went up for a shot, but the body of Klingon makes him kick it out to Sears. Back to Pringle. Pringle out to Nelson. One more to Griffen. Pump fake, relocate, open 3 on the left wing. Too strong. Estrada clashing the glass. Gets another look for Griffen, who nets it. 2 triples for the Crimson Tide. It's 7-6.
That might be how they have to stay in this game with UConn, is hitting that triple like they did in the second half against Clemson. They really exploded offensively there.
Both threes, by the way, coming off second chance opportunities for the Tide. Castle once again dared to shoot. He'll put up another 3 and connect. The freshman has 8 points already in this ball game, and Nate Oats might have to rethink his strategy on how to defend this Husky team.
Yeah, there might be an early timeout coming just to get his team on a new mindset with how to defend Stephon Castle, because it ain't going hot so far.
Pringle being the hub offensively for the Tide. Gets it to Griffen. Griffen pull up deep 2. No good. Nate Oats not going to be happy with this shot.
Yeah.
He likes threes and layups. He doesn't like mid-range opportunities. Turnover, though, by UConn. Sears and Estrada getting into the action, forcing a ball that goes off the Huskies, so Alabama getting the ball right back.
I believe in that game against Clemson as well for Alabama, they didn't attempt a single mid-range jump shot. It was either at the rim or beyond the arc.
They don't. That's the analytical offense that Nate Oats likes to implore. It's like 3 or layups. That's all I'm taking.
Very pro style.
Very pro style. Grant Nelson has it. Gets it to Pringle. Back to Nelson. Drives inside. Goes up on Klingon and lays it up and in. So Nelson with a quick 5 points in this one. Grant Nelson's been impressive in this tournament. And once again, showing it again here.
He can really score in a plethora of ways, off the catch and off the bounce as well.
Well, he caught social media by storm at North Dakota State. Newton left open for 3. It rattles in and out. Couple of defensive mishaps for Alabama, but how about Cam Spencer mixing it up and getting a rebound offensively? Steps out to the 3-point line and knocks it down. The Huskies coming out on fire offensively. Wow. Just displaying what makes them the best team in the country.
How confident is Cam Spencer, man?
Ridiculous player. Pringle gets it to Sears. Sears inside. Floater fouled. Stephon Castle whistled. And we'll have a chance to collect our breaths for the first time, Smitty. As it's 13-8, UConn lead. 3 triples already for the Huskies. 2 by Stephon Castle, 1 by Spencer. As this is looking to be a shootout early in this one.
Absolutely.
Woo!
We are at 40 likes here on the Chat Sports channel, so help us get to 50 here at this first media timeout.
Same could be said for our Alabama channel. 90 people watching, only 40 likes. If you want the Crimson Tide to pull off the upset, hit that like button. If you want us to just have a good, close game on the Chat Sports channel, hit that like button. 42-42 in the like battle between the two. One is severely undermanned, though. That would be the Alabama channel. Come on, we're live here. We were live earlier as well. If you joined us for that live show, it's a completely different live stream that you have to hit the like button on. We appreciate any support. We're live for free, so come on.
The least you could do.
Least you can do. King Fancy saying go Huskies. Your guy Duncan's in the building today,
Oh, Duncan in the building.
No, in the real building.
Oh, really?
He's in Phoenix.
Wow, what a trip that is, all the way from the East Coast, Beast Coast, out to the West. Duncan, I'm jealous, my man. Final Four in person. Hopefully you're not sitting up in heaven with as far
I
as
will say it is always hilarious to watch the vantage points of
oh my God,
the NFL stadium watching college basketball. It's hilarious.
there are a lot of people. I would say probably close to at least 100 people in the last row of that stadium right now. The last row.
It's flat out ridiculous.
It's like you're looking at an anthill down below, and you can't even tell who's who on the court.
What are your thoughts on the beginning of this game, though, Smitty? A lot of threes. The defensive, I guess, intention of leaving Stephon Castle open from threes made him pay. He already has 8 points. Oh, what are you seeing here, Smitty?
Yeah, I'm seeing that Alabama seems up to the test of keeping up with UConn offensively. But what I have seen is that they know Donovan Clingan is down low, and they're kind of a little wary about going up strong against the 7-2 behemoth.
I mean, same thing that you saw a little bit with Purdue and NC State, right? Where NC State, a couple of those guys that have been great at finishing around the rim in this tournament and postseason, just not feeling as confident in their ability to either get a shot up on the rim, make it, and finish strongly with Zach Edey's presence there. Same thing goes with Clingan, and I'll tell you this right now, I think Clingan is a better pure defender than Zach Edey.
100%. A lot more under control.
Yes, a lot more under control. I feel like, has a better knack of where the shot taker is going to be with the ball to get his fingertips on it.
And he's more of a pure swatter than Edey is, rather than him just standing straight up.
I also say Clingan's more versatile with his lateral movement.
Yeah,
so he can move a lot better than Zach Edey. So Clingan is more of a defensive stalwart, if you will, over a Zach Edey type. That's why those two matching up on Monday potentially would be a fascinating.
Yeah, if you get the switch, Donovan Clingan isn't going to back down from a ball handler taking it to the
it's
cup.
not great, but it's certainly not Zach Edey traffic cone.
Yeah, absolute quicksand for Zach Edey. But who do you guys got? Let us know down in the chat. I see GR Crushing Stuff says UConn. Got Michael Kister saying Bama. I'm sure the Alabama chat is rolling with those Roll Tide rolls, RTRs. We're back in action here.
Yeah, they're saying can't leave Castle open from three anymore. We'll see if they've changed their defensive outlook. We have a foul here. It's going to be called on Alex Caravan as he tackled a Crimson Tide player to the ground.
Can't do that.
Can't do that, Jim.
Shout out Jim Nance, first year not on the call. We get the Birdman, Iron Eagle.
Instead we get us.
Yeah, instead you get us.
I think that's just as good.
Hello, friends.
Up for debate. Stevenson in for Alabama as the Crimson Tide knocked down another triple. Was that Mark Sears?
It was a lefty.
Sears? I couldn't tell. I looked down for a second. 13-11, high-scoring game. Clingan at the top of the key. Each team has 3 triples. Diarra is in for the Huskies. He's that 6th man off the bench. They only go 7-8 deep, though. Spencer off a pin down is open for 3. Left it short.
Same
Rebound
spot as last
Nelson.
time.
Estrada out and running. Stevenson had a terrific game in the Elite Eight, which propelled Alabama to this Final Four appearance.
Grant Nelson takes a 3. It's going to be long, and UConn's going to get the long rebound. They're out back the other way. Now it's Spencer at the top.
Latrell Wrightshell also into the game for the Crimson Tide. First time.
Inside the Clingan, backing down Nelson. He gets doubled, though. Swings it back out to the top. Going to be back to Clingan. Now he's got one-on-one. Double again.
They're going to call a foul on the floor. Grant Nelson whistled. Can't have him in foul trouble. I'll say this about Clingan, by the way, Smitty. I don't think he's that good offensively in terms of
back to the basket.
Back to the basket.
Yeah.
As big as it is, and you might think, well, who's going to stop him inside? Well, he's actually not that good, at least at this point in his game, of getting to a post move. He's much more better at offensive rebound putbacks and in the pick and roll. Lob threat, yeah. Well, he does have a good pass to a back cut from Spencer, who bogeyed the lefty layup. Good look for the Huskies, not able to convert. Estrada the other way for the Tide. He hangs, floater, good, and we're even at 13 through 6 minutes of action.
I had a feeling this one might be a little bit more competitive than than Purdue NC State, and we have it so far.
We've been
knotted up.
Yeah, we've been treated to a really good game here early on, 13-all. Spencer over to DR on the right wing, inside the Clingan. He's got good possession there, misses the hook shot, but Alex Caravan on the weak side gets the offensive rebound and was fouled on the putback attempt. So Caravan, who already went to the free throw line earlier in this game, will make another trip to the charity stripe for 2.
Absolutely.
The Crimson Tide not backing down today, and if you're watching on our Alabama channel, you have to be excited and happy with how they have performed offensively, getting a lot of good looks at the rim as well as from beyond the arc against a Husky team that is very dynamic on both the offensive and defensive side of the floor.
Absolutely. Caravan knocks down the first of 2 free throws here. And let's knock us down to 100 likes here. We're 33 away, as I got to change that.
Grant Nelson heads to the bench for the Tide. First time he sits down in this game. Pringle back in. So Stevenson and Pringle are your 2 bigs inside. If you're an Alabama fan, if you're UConn, Samson Johnson into the game for the first time for Klingon. Athletic big man, not as a deterrent inside, but he can get up. Loose ball, it's a scrum. It'll be a jump ball, and possession arrow favors the Tide, so we'll stay on with Alabama. Samson Johnson, if you haven't watched a lot of Husky basketball this year, a very different style of player than Klingon. He is very athletic. He's slim, so he's not going to impose you physically, but he can jump out of the gym. Every time he steps on the court, he is the most athletic guy vertically. So you got to watch the rebounding if you're Alabama. Sears off a curl, baseline drive, hangs, floater.
What a move!
Sears showing why he's been compared to Jalen Brunson, the guard from the Knicks. It's not just because he's a 6'1", light-skinned lefty point guard, I think.
That's a big reason, I'm sure.
No, I'm just playing. That's probably why they get a lot of comparisons, but all seriousness, Sears is
they
a
both
terrific
play off 2
point
feet
guard.
very well as
They
well.
are very good, and they know what they're doing. Newton coming off a screen, gets
travel.
to Castle. Castle, another triple. That one doesn't fall. Now 2 for 4, but Diarra comes away with a board, but they whistle him for a foul.
I don't know about that one,
back
Jim.
to the Tide.
I don't know about that one.
The strategy of Nate Oats to leave Stephon Castle open from 3 continues.
We are
That is a foul. It's a good call. It's a good call.
We are 27 likes away from 100. Help us get there as we have 300 people watching on our chat sports stream. How the likes looking over in the Alabama channel, Rolly?
Yeah, we're at about 50, 60 likes. We could use some more, that's for sure.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
Can't
Bama
tell
will
who
take it
checked in here.
back the other way.
That is Ward Harrell for the Tide, the freshman shooter. Loose ball. Samson Johnson picks it up. Can't really handle it, so he hands it off to Newton. Newton, baseline drive. Swings it out to Diarra. He's left open. Too strong. There's Johnson on the glass, but Sears is able to come away with it. Tide looking for their first lead of the game. It's Luttrell trailing 3. That's good! And the Tide take their first lead of the game.
Wow.
18-15. Right shell with the basket.
One thing I'll say is UConn has not trailed for very long in this tournament at all. This might be the latest in the game that UConn has trailed so far.
10-2 lead, or 10-2 run for the Tide. Samson Johnson fouled inside. Newton missed a 3. Offensive rebound fouls, so the big man off the bench for UConn will go to the line for 2. Good job by Sears drawing a crowd, and then right shell just in trail position, knocked down the triple. I will say we'll have to keep our eye out for the foul trouble for each team. It's already had 4 fouls on Alabama, 3 for UConn. Johnson makes the first free throw to make it a 2-point game. Spencer will come back in for the Huskies. Tristan Newton doesn't sit often. The 5th-year transfer for UConn will take a seat.
Now, one thing about Alabama is they're not the biggest team. Like, they're not, as far as height goes, UConn's a bigger team. Let's just call a spade as the second free throw is missed. And you're going to have to limit offensive rebound opportunities for UConn if you're Alabama. Limiting possessions and getting yourself more shots up is how Alabama's going to have to win this game.
Alabama's yet to get to the free throw line. UConn has taken 6. Sears gets to the rim. Nice little hesitation move. And now the lead is up to 4 for the Tide. Sears has 4 points. Diarra running the point for UConn. Looking for Spencer. Can't get it to him. Gets it now to Johnson. Back to Diarra. Ball is into the game. Excuse me. That's Stewart for the Huskies. Pick and roll into Johnson. Layup is good. Almost turned over off the inbound, but here comes Sears and the Tide. Stevenson, almost walked with it. Instead gets it back to Sears. That's a hard screen. He sets. No call. Sears swings it around, It's going to be an open three for Griffen. Top of the key. That goes.
Whoa.
Alabama
Here
unconscious from beyond the arc.
Comes the Tide.
5-point lead. Klingen set the check in at the next TV timeout.
Looks like they need him right now.
5 of 7 from 3 are the Tide. Spencer has it. Ends up getting it over to Castle on the left wing. Back to Spencer. Cam drives in. Stops to Johnson. For an easy slam. And I tell you what, this is a much different looking game than the one we just watched in Purdue NC State. This is what we call offense and good basketball.
Yeah.
The other one was a rock fight.
Now, Cam Spencer, man, like, does he never, ever make the wrong decision? Such a smart player.
Best transfer pickup this season, without a doubt.
No doubt.
The Tide throw it away. Errant pass out of bounds. So we'll take another TV timeout here as Alabama actually holds a 3-point lead over the Huskies. Almost 10 minutes to go in the first half. And as we get closer and closer to our halftime break, we do have to show some love to our sponsor, which is Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in the country. I start with them every day, and it makes watching these games so much more fun. You can combine League of Legends, NBA, NHL, college basketball. They have it all. LeBron, Caitlin Clark, McDavid, Jude Bellingham. Like, you could do it all, man. You really can. And you could also play alongside some favorite legends like Meek Mill, Sugar Sean O'Malley. You could find their selections under the promos tab, community plays, to view their entries. You can also get injury insurance from Prize Picks. So if a player gets hurt in the first half of this basketball game, for instance, and they don't return in the second, you will not have a loss counted against you. I had picks earlier today with Edie. I had a flex play, which means I have to go perfect on Spencer and Klingen here down the stretch. As I look at to see where we are on these two numbers,
Cam Spencer's got at least 3.
Cam Spencer has 3. I don't know where Klingen's at in terms of his rebound. Let me check here real quick. I want to make sure. Spencer's only got 3, so nothing crazy to there. I believe Klingen has 3 boards? 2 boards. 2 boards for Klingen.
He's been clearing the glass all tournament long, double digits in every game so far.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can continue to progress towards there. But get started today by downloading the app at your app store and using code CLNS to get a first deposit match up to $100. Or you can click the live chat and click that link that is prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. That simple. That easy. All right, as we check back in on the like marks here, Alabama football report. Appreciate everyone tapping in over there. Bama Steele, Sherry Davis, JJ. 74 likes on that channel. Can we get to 100? 100 people watching? 1,000 people have checked in throughout the night. How about that? On our main chat sports channel, 93 likes. Let's get the triple-digit likes here as we have 300 people watching.
It helps out the YouTube algorithm. As we're early in this game, you know, maybe everybody doesn't see this live stream yet on their feed, but the more likes we get, the more times YouTube's going to show this on people's For You page, they're recommended, the whole 9 yards. So we want to have the biggest Final Four watch party in the world right now. So like the video and help us achieve that.
Well said, Smitty. Well said. 5 likes away from 100. 77 total likes on our Alabama channel.
Almost at 100.
By the way, this is specifically for the Alabama channel. Confidence level in a victory today.
Scale it 1 through 10.
Scale it 1 to 10. Let me know. What's the confidence level over there on the Alabama football report?
And we do pass 100 likes here on the Chat Sports channel. Thank you guys so much for taking part and helping out tonight's live stream.
JJ says gave you 2 likes. I don't know how that's possible, but I'll take it. UConn basketball down 3. They have not trailed often, as Smitty made note of earlier. Spencer gets a screen from Klingen, working on that right side of the court, picks up his dribble, dumps it inside the Klingen. He's got that right block, double-teamed, picks up his dribble, good double team by Estrada. Klingen out to Newton, back to Klingen.
Nice.
He's got good position. Left hook goes. A simple 2-man action for the Huskies, not rushing, not overcomplicating, just taking their time and getting a good look. Alabama is shooting 7 of their last 8 from the field. A lot of those have been triples. Sears working on Spencer, drives, kicks it to Estrada, open corner 3. rattles in and out,
Halfway
rebound down to Newton, but that was a great offensive set. Up ahead, great pass by Newton to Klingon for a rim-rocking two-handed slam, and UConn goes on a 4-0 spurt to go up by 1. It's actually a 6-0 run for the Huskies as they went from down 5 to up 1, and Nate Oats did not like what he saw there. We are going to head to a timeout.
Yeah, that's how Klingon gets effective on the offensive end, rim running, and they found him there as a big target.
I mean, UConn, and this is what makes them so dangerous, is that they can play in a multitude of ways.
Oh, yeah.
Just like we talked about with Purdue earlier. If you want to get in a track meet with them like Alabama wants to, well, guess what? They have big men running the floor on a constant basis alongside a trio of guards in Castle, Spencer, Newton, who play the right way, make the right decision. Oh, and then you have an experienced guy off the bench in Diarra. If you want to play slow pace, grind it out, well, guess what? That's what Big East basketball is. They can do that as well. UConn is showing their full range here and the reason why they are the best team in the country.
But Alabama's not backing down. We knew that they weren't exactly the best defensive team throughout the college basketball regular season and even up to the NCAA tournament. But once the March Madness began, they kind of turned it up defensively. They've been very physical, smart double teams early on in this game, and they've created a couple turnovers that have resulted in buckets.
Listen, I don't want to scare away Alabama fans, but to me, this Tide team is very similar to the Miami Hurricanes team we saw a year ago
Basically
make a run to the
image.
Final Four.
Yeah.
High-octane offensive team, not a good defensive team, but played good defensive possessions when games got tight late, got a favorable run to the Final Four, which Alabama did, getting to play Clemson in the Elite Eight. They did have to go through North Carolina, but the Clemson Tigers in the Elite Eight is a favorable matchup. And then you, ironically, the same thing as Miami last year, had to play UConn in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Very similar teams. Choco Bear's in the chat saying, I got you 3 likes. I thank you, Choco Bear, Roxy, and Lord Buddy Bear as well.
Got a couple of Alabama fans here in the chat, sports chat as well. Shout out D.A. Tonesco, or Tone Soccer.
D.A. Tone Soccer Queen.
There we go.
Lengthy name there.
John. Ty Man, the Buckeyes saying go Bama.
Ty Man, why are you rooting for Alabama?
I was going to say, very interesting.
I mean, not that it's a bad thing. I'm just curious.
Very interesting considering you're an Ohio State guy. They've had a lot of battles on the gridiron over the years.
I was going to say, you would think an Alabama fan would probably have some, Ohio State fan would have some distaste towards Alabama.
Arnold Garza Jr. said, what the hell? Alabama's leading? Yeah, man. They've come out firing, shooting the 3-ball very efficiently. They've played physical with this UConn team. And listen, they want to make it a track meet. That's in their favor, even though UConn can play you in a plethora of ways, like Rolly mentioned.
Jacob Dalton says, Roll Tide, baby. If you are an Alabama fan in our chat sports stream, if you're Alabama through and through, which includes football as well, make sure you are subscribed to our Alabama Football Report channel. We are live there right now, so if you are an Alabama fan and want to just hang out with Alabama guys that are rooting for the Tide, well, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go.
And while you're at it, might as well do some double trouble. Subscribe to Chat Sports as well. We do 2 videos a day on everything, the hottest topics in sports, whether it be NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, and more. We do live streams like this for special events. We're going to be live for the NFL Draft. Tons of content coming at you, so you're going to want to see it. You're not going to regret it. 100% free to subscribe.
We're back in Phoenix. Sears has it. 15 on the shot clock. Swings it over to right shell. Right shell. Guarded by Spencer, gets a screen, drops it off to Pringle. Pringle to the rack, fouled by Klingon. That was an absolute Clash of Titans Godzilla Kong action at the rim. Pringle picked up the foul. Klingon caught him with the body, so Pringle will go to the line for 2.
If he goes up with the left there, maybe.
Oh, he dunks that with his left hand.
Yeah, maybe he can't, get the best palm, get the best grip with his left hand, but he went up with the right, and that gave Klingon the opportunity to contest, and he stepped on him on the way down.
Klingon falling to the rim or ground accidentally landed on the calf/ankle of Pringle, so that's something to monitor.
Seems okay right now. Doesn't seem to be grimacing, just getting ready for this free throw attempt. 1-point ball game here, about 11 minutes in the action.
Pringle giving good minutes for Nate Oats in this tournament. 7.7 rebounds a night, shooting 60% from the field, and he squares this game up at 24 by making the first free throw. Right shell will take a seat for Nate Oats. Looks like Griffen back in for the Tide.
I mean, Alabama, man.
They're hanging around
They're
here.
hanging around. We know UConn could go on a run.
30 to nothing run.
30 to nothing speaks for itself.
Yeah. Pringle goes 2 for 2, so it's Alabama jumping back out in front. Grant Nelson remains on the bench, picked up a foul early. I only think he has one, though.
Yeah. And Nate Oats has said in previous press conferences that he doesn't mind when players pick up 2 fouls. He's not afraid to leave him in there. Analytically, he says it's the right move.
Spencer has it now, looking to create and get a set started for the Huskies. Tristan Newton now swings it back over to Spencer. Spencer to Stephon Castle. High-low action. They get it to Klingon on the block. Klingon back out to Newton. Back to Klingon. Jackie Moon style. Drop off past the Castle for a two-handed slam. And Klingon just showing his full display of arsenal. He could pass. He could score. He could do it all. Griffen inside, turns it over. Spencer read it, and he leads the break for the Huskies. Finds a trailing Castle. Euro step inside. Fouled by Pringle. And the talented freshman is having one of his best games of the season and the biggest game of the season. Castle already up to double figures with 10 points. Chance to make it 11 or 12 at the charity stripe.
Castle has such a fun vertical leap. He has multiple times throughout this tournament and obviously throughout the season as well, risen up off of 2 feet for standing dunks. It's very impressive for a guy who's not the tallest out there.
He plays a very solid winning brand of basketball, and I think that was one of the things he said that won him over to go to Connecticut after they came off a national championship appearance, right? Hurley told them, listen, you're very talented. You could go out to a Kansas. You could go out to a Georgia Tech, like one of those programs where you just really dominate and do what you want to do and put up numbers. But if you want to be part of a winning culture, a winning program, and do something that means more than just yourself, this is the place for you. Castle said it stuck with him, and he's been the epitome of a winning player this year as a freshman for the Huskies.
Castle knocks down both free throws here, giving UConn a 3-point lead with 8 minutes to go in the first half.
Largest lead for each team has been 5 at some point. UConn out shooting the Tide at the line by 6. 7 of 8 for the Huskies, 2 of 2 for the Tide. Oh, that's not a smart decision there. Estrada tries to lob it to Pringle, but Klingon's there to knock it away.
Lucky to keep the ball there.
Yeah, as I say, it stays with Alabama out of bounds, but that's not the guy that you want to try to throw lobs against when he's in a certain area where he can recover to both you and the ball.
Absolutely. Keep letting us know in the chat. Chat's getting a little slow here. Let us know who you got. UConn, type Bama for Alabama. But if you're in the Alabama football chat, spam those RTRs.
Yeah,
roll,
RTRs.
Tide, roll.
Roll, Tide, roll. Roll, Tide, roll. Estrada gets it now for Crimson Tide. Top of the key. Driving on Newton. Gets it back. Launches a right wing 3 and connects, evening this game back up at 28. The hot 3-point shooting of Alabama continues. And we have a tightly contested game here. Klingon inside. Layup blocked.
Wow.
Pringle and Nelson teaming up for the rejection. Alabama out and running. Estrada gets by Newton. Good recovery. Swings it out, but a foul will be called.
Bumped on the baseline there.
Newton called for the bump. So it will be side out of bounds for UConn when we come back from timeout. That is going to be the 5th foul of the game on the Huskies. Both teams have 5. Oh, man, Smitty, we're in for a very, very fun game.
This is a barn burner.
This is fun.
This is April.
I gotta tweet this out. This is fun.
Yeah, best basketball of the year is coming at you right now. And where else would you be than Chat Sports to have you bring you the best coverage possible? Now, we know that liking, subscribing helps out the channel a ton, helps out tonight's live stream. But see that little $sign underneath the chat box? That helps us out a ton as well. If you want to send in a super chat, every $5 super chat, Rolly's taking sips of his Happy Dad. Every $10 super chat, we're going to the Patron Zone. We're taking shots of tequila on this fine Saturday night. And if we get a $20 super chat, we will do a beer bong race here. Got the Merbangas, lovely device here to get those beers down in just a matter of seconds. And if we get a crazy super chat of $50, do a beer shotgun. Throw down a beer shotgun, just crack it open, maybe even crack it with my teeth because I'm just a sicko, and get that thing down fast in Xavier Worthy's 40-yard dash.
Same goes for the Alabama channel. Any super chat on there?
100%.
Probably should have told you how to set that up. Whoops.
That's okay. We'll figure it out.
We'll find a way.
We do have a $1 super chat coming in from Joey DeLuca. Joey DeLuca, who's a frequent member of the New York Knicks Now and Giants Now channels, hosted by Marshall Green here at Chat Sports. Shout out to you, Joey DeLuca, a real New Yorker, my guy.
On the off chance that one comes in, by the way, on Alabama, all you got to do is duplicate that layer and then change it to specific link.
Yeah.
And then grab the YouTube link and input it there.
Very good. Okay.
That's all you'll have to do.
Shout out to you, Joey DeLuca, getting the super chats rolling.
Saying this is cool. Y'all are cool. I appreciate you, DeLuca, even though you said F. Rowley earlier, which I understand why you said F. Rowley, because I live rent-free in your headpiece over there at New York's Now. They're still rattled about that Heat win. Be careful, by the way, because it looks like you have music, or you're not on music.
Yep.
So.
All right. 369,119 subscribers. Let's try to get to 369,200 here by the time the second half starts. That's a good idea. That'd be fun.
Be ideal. I mean, the Tide, you wonder how long they can continue to keep this three-point shooting up. They're one of the better three-point shooting teams in the country, so that's what they pride themselves on.
Yeah.
But it does feel that UConn is getting much easier baskets than the Tide are.
Yeah, I mean, the Tide are relying on outside jumpers, and UConn's getting dunks down low. They're getting to the free throw line a lot more frequently, so a lot more inside action going well for UConn than Alabama. Obviously, Alabama wary of shot blocker Donovan Clingan down low, so they haven't exactly tried to take as many layups as, say, the Huskies have.
Yeah. In the first 4 games UConn has played, they trailed for 28 seconds. They've trailed for 3 minutes and 40 today. I think UConn's going to win, Joey DeLuca.
I do think UConn is going to end up pulling this one out as well. But, hey, Alabama's giving them a run for their money.
Nelson inside, kicks it out. Castle with the steal. Castle coast to coast, fouled by Sears. And the freshman is just all over the court tonight, Smitty. They have been... I mean, he's been the X factor. He's been the best player on the floor today.
Could he have perhaps felt a little bit disrespected on their defensive approach to open the game with him? Now he's just taking that a little personal and taking the game over himself.
That's the 6th foul on Alabama, so I believe UConn will be in the charity stripe the rest of the way. Oh, they called that on the floor.
Very interesting.
Thought that was clearly in the shooting motion for Castle.
That
one will be called again. Sears, his 2nd foul, knocked to the ground was Tristan Newton. Now you have to question, do you sit Sears for a little bit to avoid him picking up his 3rd? He is the Tide's best player.
He hasn't been super effective offensively so far in this game. I mean, he's definitely found open teammates off the bounce and on the pass, but he hasn't been that scoring threat that we saw against Clemson there in the Elite Eight. Going to be
Newton's at the line for 1 and 1.
First free throw is up and good. Barely moving the net. Hey, well, isn't this great? As the NCAA tournament comes to a close, we got a couple more Impractical Jokers ads here on the television.
Practical Jokers is cooked.
The best time of the year for them.
Newton goes 1 of 2. The second one rattled in and out, so the lead just stays at 1 for the Huskies. Sears remains on the court for Alabama after picking up back-to-back fouls, 2 on the game for Sears. Estrada has it. Step back. Nothing there, so we'll bring it back over and drive inside now. Hanging lefty layup, no good. Rebound fought for, gathered by the Huskies. Stephon Castle out and running. Newton, transition 3. No good. Rebound gathered by Cam Spencer. Swung over to Caravan. Caravan back to Clingan at the top of the key where he acts as the hub for this Husky offense.
And aside from Clingan, man, this entire UConn team is 3-point threats. It's a smoked layup from Castle.
Wow. Castle got inside, missed the layup. Late foul call. This one If you're a member of the Crimson Tide faithful, you're not going to be happy with that foul call.
Seems like one of those calls where if it went in, I think they would have swallowed the whistle.
I don't think that was a foul at all, Smitty, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, that was
Castle, if anything, Castle
straight up to
initiated the contact with a little shoulder bump.
Castle has 12 points compared to the rest of the team, 17 here, about 13 and a half minutes in. He's 4 for 6 from the field.
It's always someone stepping up for the Connecticut Huskies. They're so versatile in every way.
And he misses his first of 2 free throws here. Yeah, like I said, they have just a ton of different threats. I mean, aside from Klingon, who actually has hit a couple outside shots this year, the entire UConn team here is a threat to score from deep. And they can also put it on the ground, get the ball inside. I mean, they're just as close to perfect as you can be in a college basketball team.
Yeah. Castle goes 1 of 2, so it's a 2-point lead for the Huskies. 6.5 to go in the first half. Castle will head to the bench with a team high and game high 13 points.
It's going to be very interesting to see down the stretch here, like how UConn kind of responds to a back and forth close game that they have not been in quite some time since the regular season.
Yeah,
but in postseason play, it's been kind of a rout for every single game for UConn.
Even the Big East tournament, they just dominated every game.
Yep.
Estrada has it, left corner, spinning, kicks it back out. It's almost stolen away from Spencer, but instead right shell gets it back. 4 on the shot clock. Good defense by the Huskies. Step back mid-range shot, doesn't go. Rebound gathered offensively, though, by Nelson. Back out to Estrada. Estrada drive, show and go, fades away. Misses, and Caravan with a box out for UConn.
Alabama needed that one to go down.
Got a couple good looks there, just not able to knock him down. Caravan over to Newton. Deep left wing 3 for Tristan Newton. Not able to go. Rebound. Fought for. Out of bounds. It will be the Tide's ball. I'll tell you what, Newton has really been slow to get his offensive game going, which, listen, you've gotten a good effort from Castle and a couple others today for UConn, but if you're Alabama and the best offensive player for the Huskies has been struggling, that's concerning.
You got to be happy with the defense that you've played so far if you're Alabama.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The Beast. Oh, nice feed down low, but Grant Nelson can't finish at the rim.
Samson Johnson with the rejection. Caravan trailing 3. Can't go, and the Huskies continue their struggle from beyond the arc. Offensive rebound by Diarra is blocked out of bounds, so it'll stay with Connecticut. I mean, the Huskies have really struggled with their 3-point shot here, Smitty, and they still lead by 2. They got off to a good start with 3 of 5, but I don't think they've made one since.
Yeah. Spencer early to Castle hit 2 of them. There he is.
Spencer,
in the
corner 3, left it short. Rebound by Alabama. Foul called on Cam Spencer as he reached in on Sears. Alabama will now be in the bonus the next time they get fouled.
A little bit of a frustration foul there by Cam Spencer, who is normally knocked down from anywhere around the arc, and he left that one short.
The Huskies, Smitty, are 3 of 13 from 3. They've missed their last 5, and I would say that all 8 times they've missed in their last 8 have been good looks.
Yeah, and you got to expect that to change, right, as this game progresses. Alabama's got to be able to put some buckets here on the board so they can keep up with this UConn offense once it gets back in motion.
Sears swings it over to right shell. Deep 3 for him. It falls!
Got to hit him!
The Tide back up by 1, and contrary to the Huskies' struggle from 3, Alabama is shooting 7 of 10.
Lights out for the Tide.
Spencer looking to answer on the left wing. Over to Newton. Gets a screen from Samson Johnson. Newton resets the offense. Johnson has an easy lane inside. Guard by Sears. They look to get it to him. They don't. Caravan back over to Newton. Launches a deep 3. And there's Tristan Newton answering and finally knocking down a triple for the Huskies, putting them back up by 2.
Wake up and smell the roses, Tristan Newton.
Right shell to the rim. No basket contact. It's a 5-on-4 for UConn. Newton loses the ball, but it ends up as a lob. Not able to convert for Diarra. Here comes the Tide. Oh, that looked like an ugly injury. We're good, though. They just looked weird.
Rylan Griffen
was fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2. It almost looked like his knee buckled, and I was very nervous of how that was going to occur. No, he just
Ooh.
slipped. He just slipped. Okay.
Okay.
In live action, though, that looked.
It still kind of looks like a buckle. Oh, no, he slips
His
there.
foot
Yeah, he
just
slips there.
A very frenetic pace here in the first half. What a terrific ball game
Up and down.
we have on our hands right now. Caravan's second foul of the game, so he'll head to the bench likely for the final 4 minutes of this first half
Not
as
too
they hold a
concerning.
2-point lead.
But something to monitor for sure is the foul trouble.
I mean,
For
UConn is
UConn.
so versatile. They don't need Caravan at all times. Castle comes back in as UConn goes a little bit smaller here, having a 4-guard lineup alongside just the big man inside.
Absolutely. It will be Rylan Griffen at the line here for 2 shots.
Joey DeLuca says, who's left in March Madness? It's just these 2 teams playing and Purdue, who's waiting in the national championship game already. Griffin misses the front end of a one-on-one. They said that was not in the
Okay.
act of shooting,
It's on the
so it
floor
was
there.
a 1-and-1. 2 of 3 from the line are the tide tonight. Diarra over to Johnson. 1 more to Newton. Ball movement is something UConn prides itself on. Spencer finds Newton. He just made a triple a second ago. Drives on Stevenson. Hangs off glass. Is true. And Newton getting hot here. Back-to-back buckets for Tristan Newton, putting the Huskies up 4.
A tough finish through contact there. Took his time, made the bucket.
Sears inside, stripped by Diarra, and maybe the UConn defense is starting to wake up. Newton out and running to Castle. Castle will slow it down now and get it restarted with Spencer on the left side. Pick and roll between him and Johnson. When you're watching Husky basketball, they move the ball. They will turn it over here, though, as Newton threw it over the head of Samson Johnson out of bounds. And we'll head to the under 4 timeout here as the Huskies, the top seed in the entire tournament, have a 4-point lead early in this first half.
Man, this is exciting. This is exciting basketball. This is why we play. This is why we do 68 teams to get the best 4 in the Final 4, and we're having an exciting matchup so far. This is the best, probably the shortest deficit of any opponent facing UConn in the entire tournament up to this point.
Illinois kept it close in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a 4 or 5 point game.
With about 2 minutes left, they started the 30-0 run, huh?
That is when it started. You know what should be started by you guys? Oh, it's the #1 daily fantasy sports app on the market. That is Prize Picks, and I don't know how many times I can slice it up for you guys all day because it is the best, and it makes watching these games so much more enjoyable. They have quick withdrawals and easy gameplay with an enormous selection of players and stat types, which make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app on the market. Join over 3 million members. It's so easy to play. It's just pick more, it's pick less, and that's that easy. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with basketball, hockey, college basketball entries today on the #1 daily fantasy sports app on the market, combining LeBron, Caitlin Clark, Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, same entry, doesn't matter. My entry tonight for the Final 4 is as follows. I have Cam Spencer more than 15.5 points. I'm a little skeptical on how that's going. I believe he's still stuck at 3.
Yeah.
I also took the more than on 9.5 boards for Klingon. He's got 2, so well, my players are going to have to take a little notch up here if I want to get my Prize Picks entry to connect today. But I got a first deposit match up to $100, so I still got money to play with on Daily Fantasy Sports, which you can too when you download the app and use code CLNS, or go into the live chat and click on that link. That is prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS. Get started today. Prize Picks, the best. Appreciate them giving us a sponsor. Oh, man. Close game. We can really say that this is a toss-up at this point. UConn, Alabama, who you got? I don't know why I have hip issues today. I'm telling you right now, Smitty, my hip is killing me.
Tell you right now, this is, I'm a producer here at Chat Sports most of the time. This is some of my first long-form stand-up content here, and my feet are killing me.
Not the feet for me, it's my hips. I did play 2 hours of basketball before coming into work today.
Oh, maybe that was a misstep.
Possibly, as my legs are gassed.
It's always good to get some shots up, though.
You know what? It's Final Fours happening on the court. I need to get some of the action, too.
Let's get this chat rolling a little bit. Who do you guys got? It's a tight game, tight ball game. This is tighter than, maybe some people might have expected here in the first half. Alabama holding their own, hitting a lot of 3 balls. Let's see the chat roll a little bit here. Who do you guys got? Type UConn if you got the Connecticut Huskies. Type Bama if you have Alabama. And if you're in the Alabama football chat, spam those RTRs. Roll Tide, roll.
UConn only gives up 4.5 threes a game in the NCAA tournament. They've given up 7 in the first half. Alabama gets inside. Estrada misses a layup. Grant Nelson on the glass, though, picks up a foul. Samson Johnson whistled, so Grant Nelson is going to go to the line for 2.
With Klingon on the bench, getting second chance opportunities is paramount for Alabama.
Yeah, they've done a good job of getting on the glass today, I'd say. Not going to lie, that Kava is kind of giving me some.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Grant Nelson at the line here. This is... First one's up and good. 3-point ball game here.
Klingon back in for the final 2:50 of the first half.
That'll be Sampson's first foul, by the way. Grant Nelson, second free throw, up and good. 2-point ball game. Make sure you guys have hit that thumbs up icon. It's like taking your shoes off when you enter somebody's home. When you're a guest, gotta be courteous. So if you love college hoops, if you love up-to-date sports analysis, news, and rumors, like the video. You'll get more of this content on your feed.
DR running a set for UConn, finds a curling Spencer. Defender hits the deck. Now Klingon hits the deck. Absolute chaos on this side of the floor. Castle will drive in, stop, floater, gets front rim, doesn't get the roll though. Ball out of bounds. It will stay with UConn. Alabama is incensed.
Not happy.
I think it's the right call though. I think that's off Pringle.
2:28 to go here.
Spencer, good pin down, right wing 3, connects.
Book it.
5-point lead now for the Huskies. This ties their largest of the first half. Are we going to see a rerun of Illinois, UConn, the Elite Eight? We'll see. Sears inside, layup goes. Not so fast, sweetheart.
Nice answer by Alabama there. Getting inside and honestly taking advantage of Klingon absent from the paint there. He wasn't available to block the shot.
Yeah, and if you could keep Klingon away from getting his hands on those shots and contestings, you could really do some nice things.
Yeah, Alabama's bigs have been wary about going up with shots there.
Klingon gets it at the elbow, little farther out than he likes to catch it. 4 on the shot clock to Spencer. Spencer turning, stops, off glass, good. The 5th-year player who has moved across the country and transferred from Rutgers is showing why he was the best transfer portal player there was in the country. Estrada misses a push shot from the paint. Rebound Connecticut. Here comes the Huskies. Spencer feeling himself here. Gets it over to Diarra. Diarra, drop off pass to Klingon. It's up and in. And the lead is up to 7.
Boy.
Largest of the game for UConn. Here come the Huskies.
This is how they started against Illinois.
Here come the Connecticut Huskies. Klingon up to 6 points. Sears, do they have an answer? A minute to go in the half.
I have a challenge for you guys. See if we can get to 200 likes here by the end of the half. 52 seconds of game time to do it.
Ball batted out of bounds. It will stay with Alabama with 52 seconds to go alongside the baseline. 42-35 is the score.
Can you guys make it happen here? 473 people watching here at Chat Sports. As another 3 goes down for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Mark Sears from the corner.
The Tide, here's the concern though, and UConn will use their burn it or lose it timeout with 42 seconds left to go in the half. And here's my concern if you are Alabama, right? You are unconscious from 3.
Yeah, they're shooting at a very high clip.
I mean, if you asked an Alabama fan, if you shot 8 of 11 from 3 in the first half, what would the score be? And they would probably assume, oh, we're actually beating UConn.
Yeah.
You're losing by 4, Smitty, and you're 8 of 11 from 3.
Yeah, I mean, UConn's looks have come a lot easier and more plentiful. They've gotten more clean looks up inside the three-point arc, but Alabama's staying in this game due to hot three-point shooting. it's going to be very difficult for them to keep that clip up in the second half.
I mean, if they're going to rely on threes like that, it's going to be quite the concern.
I mean, will it though? I mean, could they potentially keep the hottest? I mean, that would be if they essentially continued this shooting clip in the second half. That would probably be the best 3-point performance of any team ever. 8 of 11. I mean, they're shooting what is that? Basically 75%, almost 80%.
That's better than that, right?
About 80%.
Divided by 2, 4 of 5.5. That's above 80. Yeah. Oh, inadvertent whistle. I love when the buzzer sounds off for no reason.
Speaking of whistles, is Jeffrey Anderson on this ball game tonight, or is he on the previous one?
He is on the championship.
Oh, he's in the national championship, so they don't do.
Three different crews. 3 different crews of 4, right?
I did know he was in the national championship.
3 officials.
Well, 3 different referee crews.
No, but like how many officials are on the court at one time? 3 or 4?
I think
it's 3, right?
It's 3.
So they brought 12, and then there's like a 4th referee for like reviews or in case someone goes down or something like that?
Yeah. 42 seconds left. 4-point ball game here.
RL says I disagree. We all knew they would have to hit 20-plus threes to beat them, but like that's not sustainable is my point.
Yeah. They believe they hit 15 against Clemson in the last game, and they barely eked out that win.
Like if they go 18 of 40, like that would be an unbelievable day, and they aren't even on pace to get to that. Newton has it, left wing. Gets a screen from Klingon. Newton probing, lob, Klingon fouled. Pringle whistled. That is at least his second. It could very well be his third. Klingon will be going to the line with 24 seconds to go in the first half. KJ Edits is a new sub on the Bama Report. Shout out to you guys. 200 people watching over there.
Let's go. 57 likes away from 200. I know we could do it. I know there's over 350 of you who have not yet liked this stream here on Chat Sports.
It's a pretty soft call, I'm not going to lie. There's been some questionable referee decisions made in this first half.
Listen, we've seen such high-level basketball played. Let the kids play.
Play. Klingon makes the first. Lead back up to 5. The largest it's been for UConn in this first half was 7.
Could be the same deficit at the halftime break that we had in Purdue-NC State.
Yeah, it was a 6-point game.
But I think Alabama will have an easier time putting
scoring
the ball
in the second half.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Who knows? Maybe they get
maybe another 20-0 run is going to happen for the Huskies.
Yeah, you never know.
Klingon goes 2 for 2 at the line, so lead is 6. Now, does Alabama hold for 1 or just take the first good shot they get?
Personally, with the way that they've been shooting the ball, I think that they take the first good shot they get.
I would agree. That was Pringle's second, by the way, so keep your eye on that as we move forward in this game. It looks like they'll hold for 1, 10 to go in the half. Sears gets the screen from Nelson. Sears, step back, now drives on Castle. Pump fakes. Great defense by Castle, but a very crafty move by Sears to get a layup with basically time expiring, and we will go into halftime with a 4-point game. 44-40. UConn leads. A back-and-forth first 20 minutes results in the Huskies containing a 4-point lead, but Alabama not going anywhere. The Tide shot a ridiculous 50% from 3, or excuse me, from the field, and a ridiculous 8 of 11 from beyond the arc.
I mean, that's wild.
By the way, that's just 72%. That's not right, is it?
Yeah. It's not 80, because 8 of 10 would be 80.
Yeah, but 4 or 5 is 80.
Yeah.
I guess I did 4 or 5.5. I'm a dumbass. That's why I'm on here talking. I didn't do that. I am a dumbass.
All right, well, this seems like a good time to ask who you guys got in this ball game, because I don't know, man. This is about as close as UConn has been to a loss in the last 11 or 10 tournament games that they've played.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we still have 20 minutes of basketball left to be played.
You know what's funny? If you look back at their run last year to win the title game, the game that honestly was the most competitive for them was the freaking first round game as the 4-13. I believe they were playing I'm spacing on the team.
That's going to kill me who they played.
But it was like a close game for like the entire half, and like they actually were down like by 8 or 10 I think in the first half.
Huh. Who did they match up with last year?
Wanda says Bama just keeping it within 11. That was the spread in this game, 11.5. Oh, man.
Who did they match up with?
It was like I feel like I want to say it's the team that had green. Or it was Kent State. One of those two.
It was UConn Huskies. Ended up. They played Iona. Rick Pitino.
Oh, I knew it was.
Ricky Pitino.
The sad part is I almost said St. John's, but I was like, that's not right.
It's as close as you can get.
It is St. John's.
It is St. John's.
490 people still watching here at halftime on our Chat Sports channel. We're ending the stream if we don't get to 200 likes by the time half is up.
Yeah, I mean, guys.
That's like 15, 20 minutes away. Like, it shouldn't be that hard. Dude,
we don't want to end the stream.
My legs are killing me. I'm not going to lie.
Me too, and I didn't even have any physical activity today.
Yeah, listen, on the Alabama channel, we're not going to end it if we don't get the 200 likes, but if we don't get the 200 likes on the Chat Sports, I'm done.
Yeah, man. Listen, we'll be full-time Alabama guys if you guys don't want to get us to 200 likes.
We will only go live on Alabama.
46 likes away. I know you guys can do it. When we get to 200 likes, I will take a little shot of Patron. We're going to the Patron zone here on this fine Saturday night. I'll take shots.
Love it.
If we can get there.
Jarrett Page saying Rolly in the Alabama channel. Bears fan here. What's up, Jarrett Page? The Bears.
We have RL saying, I agree it's not sustainable, talking about the Alabama three-point shooting, but if you look at the year and the way that they play defense, but also the way they play offense, it was the only conclusion I could see possible. They have to be on unconscious.
No, I'll be honest. Though, RL, I agree with you. The only way that they win is going nuclear from three. I just don't know if 8 of 11 is sustainable. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to tell me 8 of 16, sure. Like that is
That's even hot. That's hot too.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say you go 8 of 16, like that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
We knew they were gonna have to be unconscious from 3, but here's the thing: 50% as a team is unconscious, especially at the collegiate level. So the fact that it's 78% is just completely ridiculous, and is why I think I don't believe it's sustainable. Like, you're not going to shoot 8 of 11 and be that efficient from deep in another half a game.
Yeah, and if they were 8 of 11 and they're still down 4 at the half. So it's going to take a lot. Wanda Bird says, my son's name is Tyler Smith.
Mom?
Mom? Is that you? Very interesting. Welcome, Wanda. She also says it's her first time on this live chat, so I'm very happy to have you. Consider subscribing to the channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Hit that sub button, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up icon as well, because that'll help us get more people in this stream for the second half. And we already mentioned to you guys, we're turning off the stream if we can't get to 200 likes by the end of halftime. And NCAA, the Turner Broadcast Networks, they're giving you guys a lot of time here in these halftime breaks. It's a lot more than the 15 minutes that you get in the regular season. They got a whole ordeal, a whole halftime show. Ernie, Kenny, Chuck, Seth Davis, the whole crew at the half.
Smitty, I have to go to the bathroom. Is there any way you can hold it down for a little bit here?
I think I'll be able to get that done.
Okay. I'll wait for you to get to your solo cam here, and then I'll head to the bathroom real quick.
All right. Oh, yep. Wrong one there.
There you go. You got it.
There we go.
All
All
right. Go ahead, Smitty. Take it off.
All right. Halftime break here. UConn up 44-40 as Rolly takes a little bathroom break here at the break. Probably the best time to do so here. At the half, yeah, like we mentioned, Alabama 8 for 11 from 3. UConn on the other end 5 of 15, which isn't the worst. Like, that's not the worst percentage out there. UConn also has had 7 trips to the line as well. They are 11 of 14 from the stripe. Meanwhile, Alabama, I believe, is 5 of 8 is what I saw over there. So a back-and-forth game, but like we mentioned, Alabama's going to have to remain unconscious from distance and able to keep up with the UConn Huskies, who we know can turn it on at any moment. I mean, did anybody watch their game against the Illinois Fighting Illini, 30-0 run? That could happen against an Alabama team that's not the best defensively either. So definitely something to monitor. I'm sure Dan Hurley in the halftime locker room is giving that team a piece of his mind, as they have not been in this situation much at the break of any game in postseason play this season. Closest one, I believe, was that Illinois game, but they were in the midst of that run that they began with about 2 minutes left in the first half. They dominated through Big East tournament play. They've dominated every game that they've played up to now in the NCAA tournament. Whooped on Stetson, whooped on Northwestern, and then once they got to the second weekend, it was like it was a whole new basketball team, freshest legs imaginable. They dismantled San Diego State and the Aztecs. And then Illinois, I just mentioned, they went on a 30-0 run. It ended up being a 30-point game at some point. Some garbage time made that a 25-point victory for the Huskies. Jay Wright on my television right now, and I'm sure he's very thankful that he is not the coach of Villanova anymore and having to face this attack that is the UConn Huskies. As we are 23 likes away, I know we can get there. Let's see. If we can get there by the time that Rolly gets back, I'm going to make him do a beer bong. I'm going to make him do a beer bong if we can get those 23 likes by the time that Rolly gets back from the bathroom. 22 likes away now. And share me your thoughts here in this first half. Swizzle Fo Shizzle says, Tyler, what's your opinion on lettuce? Are you talking about lettuce, or are you talking about the green? I don't mind the green. I'm not the biggest vegetable guy in the world, but I love putting a little lettuce in my burger, lettuce in my Chipotle bowl. You know the vibes. Chris Bradley saying roll Tide. Jack Mullen saying 84 likes for UConn. Christian Avalis saying roll Tide from the Czech Republic. That's unbelievable, baby. Time in the Buckeye says the Smitty Show. Yeah, for now. I like to have my co-pilot Rolly here as well. Wanda Bird saying, if I hit the heart, is it a like? It's actually not an official like, but hey, hit that heart. Spam that heart as many times as you can. That gets the chat rolling and pumping as well. How many are we away? 14 likes away. If we can get 14 likes before Rolly returns from the bathroom, we will make him do a beer bong on the stream. But time is running out. Can he do it? Or can we do it, I should say. 13 likes away now. 12 likes away. And listen, we're not begging for likes just to be like, oh yeah, we have the most likes on YouTube. No, that's not the case here. What we're trying to do here at Chat Sports is just grow a community. We want as many people in the live stream as possible, and that's what likes does. It naturally shows the YouTube algorithm that this stream is popping, we have a good time going here, and it shows it to more people who want to tune in and get coverage of tonight's Final Four action. Alabama and UConn in a tight one right now. Alabama shot unconscious from 3 there in the first half, but UConn basically kept them at bay the whole time, getting a lot more easier looks inside. UConn saying Danny Esquivel from Corpus Christi, Texas. A little bit down south. We are here in Dallas, Texas at the Chat Sports offices. And Rolly returns. I don't think we got there in time for the beer bong. Oh, no way! We're 1 like away. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Wow. Rolly, I threw out a challenge for them.
I'll take a shot.
He'll do a shot. That's fair. And we do pass 200 likes kind of as he gets back into the mix. Yeah, I said I'd make you do a beer bong if we got to 200 likes before you returned. And,
I heard. I'll be honest. I stayed out there a little bit longer.
Oh, he wanted to give you guys a chance.
I give you guys probably an extended 30, 40 seconds. I came back. I heard what Smitty was saying. I was like, all right, I'll give him 30 or 40 extra. So I took a little squat, and then I was like, enough's enough. Time to come back to the building.
He gave you guys ample time, but hey, he ripped a shot of Patron, went to the Patron zone here on this fine Saturday night. Final Four action coming back up from Phoenix, Arizona here in just a couple of minutes. If you love March Madness, hit that thumbs up icon. We are doing a live stream. We already did a live stream for the Purdue-NC State game. That was a great time. Chat was going nuts. And hopefully the chat goes nuts tonight if this game gets close down the stretch. And we will also be live on Monday night for the national championship. The winner of this ball game takes on the Purdue Boilermakers at Monday night. Same place, State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Very excited to see who comes out on top of that one. I think either way, we're going to get a really solid ball game. Purdue,
I'd be honest, I don't know how Alabama would stop beating us.
I don't think Alabama would stop beating, but listen, if they can keep up the hot three-point shooting, then they'll be able to keep up with Purdue. But obviously, the two titans down low would be Zach Edey and Donovan Clingan if UConn ends up winning this ball game. And I think all of America would love to see that matchup.
I think everyone would want to see that matchup. And I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of Purdue. What do you think people would get more mad at? Purdue winning the national championship or UConn going back-to-back?
I think Purdue winning the national championship.
I know, people hate Purdue.
People hate Purdue.
They hate Purdue. They hate Zach Edey. They hate
I don't
Purdue.
really get it. I don't hate Purdue that much. I mean, they've been.
I think a lot of people just got upset because there's been some questionable whistles in favor of Purdue and Zach Edey in the Big Ten championship, or no, not the championship, but the tournament, and some of the other games earlier this tournament as well. So I think people have just kind of decided that the refs want Purdue to win, even though it's definitely not the case, guys, and people just hate them now.
Yeah, listen, I'm not gonna lie. As a Big East supporter myself, I love to see UConn do well, but I do love a new national champion every year. We don't need to do these back-to-backs. I don't know who I'd root for in that game. I think I would just be rooting for a lot of points.
I mean, this is the thing about this though. Purdue has made it to the championship game for the second time in school history, right?
Yep.
Alabama, this is the first Final Four they've ever made.
Yep. Yeah, they're considered one of the new bloods in college basketball. Obviously, the SEC has been getting a lot better over the past couple of seasons, and the coaching implementations that have kind of came over to that conference have been a big reason for that. Nate Oats is one of the best in the country, and he's taken that Alabama program to literally new heights.
Yeah, if Alabama and Purdue faced off, we would have a first-time national champion.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Oh, I love this tournament, man. The NCAA tournament, March Madness. This isn't March anymore. This is April. But, man, the best basketball is yet to come. I think we're going to get a fantastic national championship either way.
Yeah, the game's going to be great, man.
And we still have 20 more minutes left in this ball game. It's been phenomenal to start. 84 points combined in the first half. Both teams shooting the ball.
Don't see that often. What was the over-under in this game, by the way?
I believe it was 160.5, so it looks like that's going to hit with ease, unless Alabama goes ice cold, pulls a little bit of an Illinois situation.
I was going to say, I wouldn't say, wait a minute, it's that late of a tip? I guess that's Eastern time, but.
Yeah, 9:25 Eastern time, or 9:20 Eastern time tip-off for the national championship.
Probably like a 2:30, 3 o'clock arrival here.
Yeah. It'd be a nice sleep-in day for me and Rolly on Monday.
Oh, we got Maribeth Tripodi. Tripodi is a Knicks Now viewer. What's up, Maribeth?
There we go.
Maribeth hates me, I'm pretty sure.
Jimmy Blunt saying Roll Tide. Joey DeLuca saying UConn. Time in the Buckeyes saying Bama.
Jimmy Blunt says start the game. I wish I could control when the game resumed, man. That'd be nice because they would have already resumed. They would actually have not gotten a break, to be honest.
Yeah, no, we would have just made them run 40 straight minutes. No TV timeouts.
No timeouts. Timeouts are the worst. Timeouts actually are the worst. Like, as a fan, like,
just
no one
takes you out of
wants
the
a
action.
timeout.
No,
No one wants a timeout.
Nobody wants the game to stop.
Christian says it's 4:01 a.m. here. Where are you watching from, Christian? Where exactly? Bill says, is the game being shown on this stream? No, because that's technically illegal, and we can't do that. So we do play-by-play commentary analysis. We basically do radio, but also have an interactive scoreboard where we can actually respond to you guys in live time that you can't do that on radio.
Get the chat involved.
Exactly.
Drink a little bit. Get to see our beautiful faces.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want to see. So.
Oh, man. 20 more minutes of excellent basketball. Rolly, do you want to talk about our friends here before we get back into
I like
game
talking
action?
to my friends. I love about talking to friends. I have a lot of friends. No, I don't. Smitty's my only friend.
Oh.
And yeah, I don't even think Smitty likes me.
I like you.
But I consider these guys a good friend, and that is Prize Picks. And you should get started today with Prize Picks because I don't know how many times I can dice and slice it up for you like Alabama slicing up this UConn defense right now. But it's the best and easiest way to have fun while watching sports on a daily basis. You just pick more than, you pick less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you could win up to 100 times your money nowadays. You can just face the big action on the hardwood, whether it be the national championship game and the women's game tomorrow, or Monday for the men's, or the postseason getting underway in NBA and NHL. The biggest moments in sports are happening this month. Don't miss out. Get started with Prize Picks today by downloading the app and using code CLNS, or going to prizepicks.com/CLNS and inputting that code CLNS. There's nothing better than getting some skin in the game by playing Prize Picks. My picks today, I have Cam Spencer more than 15.5. He got hot there late. Let me check where he is since we are at the half. I believe he's got 8. He does, so he's on pace.
There we go.
On pace. One issue, though, Klingen's got 2 rebounds. I need him to get more than 10.
But
I already missed out on Edie earlier.
This is a flex play, though,
It's
so
a
you
flex
can still
play,
win.
so I can still win, but I just need both Spencer and Klingen to hit the more than on their respective stat
You needed
totals.
Alabama to go cold.
Yeah, because Klingen's not had a lot of opportunities to grab rebounds.
Yeah.
Too much. Oh, look at Matthew Petey fans in the chat. Either way, he says he's the best host on Chat Sports. Well, the best daily fantasy sports app is Prize Picks. So get started today with them. Download the app, code CLNS. Pick more, pick less. That easy. That simple. Bang, 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 bang.
It really is that easy.
That easy, folks. That easy. Matthew Petey fan says best host on Chat Sports is Matthew Petey. Disagree. Nah, I'm playing.
Petey's great.
Petey's great.
Petey's great. We love Petey. Host of our Browns report here at Chat Sports.
Browns fan. Big time Browns fan.
Yep.
Time
Ty Man the Buckeye is a big fan of him.
Man loves him.
W. Petey. There he goes. There's Ty Man in the chat. The Ohio native.
I wonder, do you think that is Petey? What are the odds you think that's Petey? I know it's not Petey, but what are the odds?
I think it's greater than 0.
Greater than 0, but not more than 5%.
Yes. Shika says, is this game on cable only? Yes, as far as watching the game is on cable only, but that's why you're here with us, along for a live play-by-play, scoreboard, chatting, analysis, drinking, everything under the sun that you won't get on cable here at Chat Sports.
Mary Beth says, Roll, if you weren't a Heat fan, I wouldn't hate you. Hate's such a strong word, Mary Beth. Very strong word.
Whoa, Coden Williams says 1,000 on 1,000 on Alabama. Oof, you might be sweating a little bit with a wager like that, my friend.
Dow on Tau, Tau on Tau,
Tau on Tau.
Tau on Tau.
Said Purdue not beating UConn 100%. I can drop money on it. Says RC. I don't know, man. I think Purdue has as good of a chance as anybody with the way that they can match up with Donovan Klingen down
I'll
low.
say this. I feel like the guard play for UConn would just overwhelm the guards of Purdue.
Yeah.
You could actually say the same thing about Alabama, but I just think that would get basically evened out by how well Zach Edey's playing. But when you have UConn, Klingen, Johnson matching up inside with Edey, and then you also have the guard play that UConn possesses, I think UConn would get a win over Purdue for sure.
Chris Bradley saying, can we finish this game before we start the championship, please? Hey, that's fair. That's very fair.
Well,
We
yeah,
do
you
have
got to
20
stop
more
talking
minutes to play.
ahead like that, man.
I know. But one more thing, I guess it could be said about the last game that was played. Purdue's guards kind of allowed NC State's guards to get into spots that they were taking efficient looking jumpers, but they just didn't fall for NC State. So I wouldn't say that Purdue's guards played particularly great defense in that game. NC State was more so just had a lid on the rim. Could not convert anything. Barry Morrison says, there's no answer for Edey this year. Alabama could never beat Purdue. Definitely would be a tougher matchup than if UConn ended up winning this ball game.
Yeah, but we'll focus more on this game. What do you think Alabama has to do to beat UConn in the second half? Because it feels like they had the picture-perfect script to do it, and they still trail by 4 at the break.
I mean, 9 for 11 from 3, maybe. they're going to
still
have
losing.
to
Still losing by 1.
They're going to have to keep up this hot shooting and probably get a couple more looks up in the second half. Convert at the line. Don't waste possessions. Try to get some offensive rebounds for some second chance points. Maybe get Klingen in some foul trouble to keep him out of the ball game.
Like, that's my concern, right? Like, UConn shot 5 of 15 from the three-point line. Now, I think if you want a realistic answer on what Alabama has to do to beat UConn here, they have to keep him off the free throw line, like you kind of mentioned.
14 attempts already.
Yeah, UConn 11 of 14 from the line, Alabama 4 of 5. That difference is what is the difference in this game.
I also think that, Alabama's going to have to force some turnovers. UConn's only turned the ball over 2 times there in the first 20 minutes.
That's the experience of those guards, man.
They're so smart.
So good.
They make the right decisions a lot of the time. I'd say the vast majority of the time, honestly, and that's evident by 2 turnovers in the first half.
So damn talented, man. I will say, seeing No Jim Nance next to Raft and Grant is crazy.
Yeah, but hey, I will say, Iron Eagle deserves it.
Iron Eagle's the man.
He does deserve it. The Birdman.
The Birdman.
Love him. Former play-by-play of our beloved Atlantic 10 championship game. He's moved on to bigger and better things, i.e. the Final Four. Hey, we were blessed though. You got Kevin Harlan there for the A10 final now.
Yeah,
so
well, I'd say we're the people you want to watch anyway. All right, 630 people in the building as we're about to get underway in the second half. Time to get your final votes in. Who you got? UConn for the Connecticut Huskies, Bama for the Crimson Tide. Get the votes down below right now.
We're starting up action here. You're not going to want to miss a second of it, so stick with us this entire live stream. The rest, until the buzzer sounds, we'll be here providing enthusiastic play-by-play commentary with a live scoreboard, chatting along with you guys, and just making it worthwhile. We'll be drinking a little bit if it's so inclined to do so as well.
Nate Oats, by the way, I know he's a big, strong guy, but like the jackets he wears make him look like freaking Batman.
Big shoulders for Nate Oats.
Huge in these jackets.
Ball's in. Here we go. UConn starting with it.
The ball is tipped. And we get Castle high-low action at the elbow, working on Nelson. Swings it back out to Newton. Newton will reset this UConn offense. They've been averaging only giving up 22.8 points per game in the first half. It's been 40 today, and UConn gets a bucket to start with a pick and roll between 2 guards.
I was saying, that was wild.
Stephon Castle set the screen and slipped to the rim. Newton found him. Easy layup for the freshman, who now is up to, I believe, 15 points. Sears inside, drop off the Pringle. He goes in the Klingon. Jumper doesn't go. Rebound by Castle. He'll bring it up now for the Huskies.
Could this be the run that UConn wants?
Newton, sidestep 3 is off. That's an ill-advised shot. Newton's earned the ability to take some of them, but bad look if you're
early in the shot clock there as well.
Nelson drives on Caravan, gets to his right hand, too strong, rebound by UConn. Back-to-back stops by the Huskies. Here comes Spencer. Spencer over to Caravan. Caravan driving on Nelson. Stops. Left-hand layup is good. And the Huskies now have their largest lead of the game, up to 8 points. It was 7 in the first half. They are up by 8 after a 4-0 start in the period.
Alabama's going to have to respond, or UConn's going to continue on that run. When they get momentum, it's tough to stop them.
Loose ball, but it's gathered up by Alabama. Step back 3 by Estrada, and I guess the 3-point barrage can continue. Woo! Estrada with the bucket to make it a 5-point game.
They are scorching from distance.
I mean, they can't miss, dude. It's 9 of 12. This is ridiculous. Castle to the rim, barrels in. It's a foul on the floor, says the officials. So it'll be baseline out of bounds for the Huskies with a 5-point lead.
Very confident step-back jumper there from Estrada.
I mean, that backcourt of Sears and Estrada, the 2 lefties, is dynamic as it comes.
So the interesting decision to call it on the floor there.
There's been interesting decisions all over this game. Maybe some weak foul calls that have been made. Some of them not shooting. Very odd. Ball's inbounded. Klingon gets it at the top of the key. He'll run through the set here, get to Castle. Castle will line up a triple. Too strong there. He made 2 in the first half, unable to get that one. Stevenson into the game as Pringle picked up his 3rd foul early in this second half. Estrada inside, pump fake, step through, layup, pretty lefty layup by Estrada, and a 5-0 run by Bama gets this lead down to 3.
Aaron Estrada up to 13 points right now. He's shooting 5 of 10 from the field. Pretty efficient day for the 2-guard.
Newton gets it inside the Klingon. He's got good position. He goes up strong, but is rejected by a pair of Alabama big men. Here comes Sears, looking to continue this Crimson Tide run. It's Estrada driving on Klingon. He bodies up, kicks it back out to Griffen. Griffen now back over to Sears. Sears drives on Newton. Turns. Back to Griffen. Free throw line jumper is good. A 7-0 run for the Tide, and we have a 1-point game.
Uh-oh.
Thought the Huskies might have started to open this one up. Not so fast.
Who do you got, Bama or UConn? Spam it down in the chat.
Newton fouled. It will be Sears' third as he was called for a reach-in.
Tell you what, man, it's been good ball. It's been some good ball.
Third foul on Sears early in the half, though. Leading scorer for the Tide, averaging 24 points a game coming into the Final Four during the 4-game tournament stretch. He's got 11 tonight. Castles gets it over to Caravan. Caravan back to Castle. Castle pump fakes, drives inside, baseline, drops off to Klingon. Layup for Klingon, soft touch, rolls in. Good answer from the Huskies there as Castle drew a crowd, 50-47. Sears probing out to Nelson. He'll line up a three. Made one in the first half. Can't get that one to fall. Newton, these guards for Huskies rebound. Up ahead to Caravan. Right wing three. What an answer by the Huskies. 7-0 run by Bama to cut to one. Huskies get it right back up to a 6-point lead with a 5-0 spurt of their own. Griffen, the answer. Can't go. Klingon, board. Huskies out and running. Newton, drop off the Caravan. Finds its way to Castle somehow. Castle will slow it down for Dan Hurley's Huskies.
Gets the call from Hurley. They're going to run a set here.
Castle has a three. Doesn't take it as they continue to plague that sag-off defense. Instead, it'll be a Newton Klingon pick and roll. Lob up to Castle. The Crimson Tide falling asleep on the baseline. Newton finds the cutter for an alley-oop. Stephon Castle.
What a great
set. A 7-0 run by UConn to answer the Alabama 7-0 run. And we're tied, or not tied, but we're back up to an 8-point lead for Connecticut as we head to the first timeout of the second half.
15:31 remain in this barn burner of a game. What a set ran by the UConn Huskies. Stephon Castle has it at the top of the key. He gives it off to another guy. He kind of shades over to the corner, and they run a two-man game with Klingon. And Stephon Castle just kind of got the Alabama defense lost him in the corner. Nice cut to the hoop. Rises up, converts the alley.
I mean, Castle's done everything you could ask for him. A true freshman, 5-star, 6'6". Many thought he might have stayed Southern because he's from, I think it's Georgia.
I was going to say, you mentioned Georgia Tech earlier. I was like, was that a misspeak, or was he actually considering that potentially?
No, let me check. I don't think he was ever considering them, but it was a school that came to mind because I'm pretty sure he's from Georgia.
Interesting.
Let me look here.
While we find
Covington, Georgia.
Okay.
I knew he was from Georgia.
Okay.
He had a lot of, like, he obviously is at UConn, but he was thinking of staying down south.
Wonder where he would have went potentially if that was the case.
The other outside of UConn, the 4 schools that showed the most interest: Auburn, Arkansas, Florida, and Georgia.
Okay.
So SEC County.
Yeah, definitely. What I was going to say is, as Rolly was looking up Stephon Castle's history there, is why you guys should subscribe to the channel, because we bring you absolute in-depth analysis like that right there. And also live streams like this for big events like March Madness, the NFL Draft, NFL Free Agency we just did a couple months ago. The NBA playoffs are coming up, so we'll be live for that as well. And, of course, we upload 2 videos a day as well around the hottest topics in sports, whether it be NFL, college football, NBA, college basketball, which we've been covering a lot over the past couple of weeks here on the channel as well. So if you're a fan of all sports in general and want to be kept up to date with all the latest news and rumors surrounding basically everything, subscribe to the channel. You won't regret it. It's 100% free.
Well said, Smitty. And I appreciate Brian D's comment, who says, appreciate you guys. I'm at a wedding listening. That was on our Alabama channel. We are live both on the Alabama Football Report as the Tide are playing in this game, not football. A little sneak peek, by the way, though, for the Alabama fans in the chat. On the Alabama Football Report, I've received word that our good friend Chris Daughtry, not the singer, but the chat sports producer, is actually going to be going live next weekend for the Alabama spring game on the channel. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know if that's been announced yet to the public. I don't know if I was supposed to say anything. I might
Spoiler!
have Tom Holland's Spider-Man-ness, as he spoils everything, but Thought that would be a cool little teaser for you guys who are watching this game with us today. That
think
you're going
they
to get
deserve it
football
for-
talk next weekend.
I think they deserve it for joining us tonight.
Yeah. You get football talk next weekend.
Isn't that crazy? Football's, I mean, it's not even close to back, really, but you're already getting some on-the-field action in the college game with some spring games coming up.
Yeah. All right, 7-0 run by each team in the last 3 minutes. Kind of wild hoops back and forth. Estrada finds Nelson, goes up on Klingon, blocked. Rebound, though, by Alabama. Corner 3, Sears. Good! He is unbelievable. 55-50. Sears, his jumper is wet like water.
They are hanging around, my friend.
14 points for Sears. He hasn't missed. I didn't know that. Newton inside. Hard fall. What a scary sight here. He's slow to get up.
Alabama has numbers, though.
Tide has numbers. Nelson. Oh! Grant Nelson and one poster dunk. Donovan Klingon. Here's a signature for you.
Up high, down hard. Mark Sears can't believe it.
Oh, wow.
Oh. My goodness.
What a ferocious finish by the transfer. Not an and one. I got a little overzealous.
It could have been.
I guess they called a timeout on the floor for Newton, who was slow to get up.
He's
what a dunk.
Newton remains in, right?
Yes, Newton's still in. 3-point game. UConn. Nelson hits the deck. Spencer drives inside amongst the trees.
A lot of bodies colliding.
Yeah, he should have kicked that out. Aggressively tried to get it up and in. Not good. Rebound out of bounds, though. It will stay with UConn. What a finish by Grant Nelson.
I mean, he showcased that a ton as a North Dakota State Bison, I believe.
Yep.
They are.
North Dakota State.
And he hasn't had a ton of success driving to the Cup this season. Just moving up a level, playing in the SEC. But, man, that was a tough finish. And it could be a momentum shifter for Alabama. 7 seconds of the shot clock here for UConn.
Newton inbounding from the short corner. It's kind of an awkward spot to get it into. They find Caravan wide open. What a set by Hurley. Not able to get it to go. But a foul whistled on Klingon, and they're going to call an over and back. And boy, do these Crimson Tide just continue to hang around.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, I don't know if I agree with that call, but
I thought that was a pretty clean rebound.
yeah. Could we
Especially for
see the Huskies go down?
Especially for your prize picks as well. Use code CLNS to get a $100 deposit match. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America.
Getting screwed here.
55-52, 14 and a half minutes left. Man, this is entertaining.
Sears, 14 points, 6 of 6 from the field. Sears drives, kind of deterred, so swings it over to Right Shell, who just checked in. Right Shell on Spencer. Back out to Sears. Sears, baseline drive. Kicks it out to Estrada. Back to Sears in the corner. Sears, 4 on the shot clock. Sears, jab step back. 3, blocked. That will be his first missed shot of the game. Excellent defensive possession by the Huskies. Caravan got his hand on the ball, and UConn will have it back up by 3.
Great defense there by UConn.
I mean, that was just as picture perfect as a defensive stat as you could find. See how the Huskies respond. Each team has 4 blocks on the night. Stephon Castle gets it over to Spencer. Spencer back to Newton. Working around the horn, inside the Klingon, posting up Nelson, gets his space inside with that poor lack of back-to-back play, back-to-back basket play shows as he misses. Nelson inside, out to Griffen. That's Diabate inside, who misses his layup. Rebound by Estrada, out to Nelson.
Say three-point shooter's got to be open, right?
Drove on Klingon, hangs, finishes. Wow. How about the play of Grant Nelson? As we've said that we were just exchanging 7-0 runs, how about another 7-0 run by the Tide to make it a 1-point game?
The Bedlam!
I think that means we're going to get a 7-0 run from UConn right now.
They're going to answer it right back, aren't they?
Klingon inside the Caravan.
Good tip by Alabama to eliminate a wide-open layup there.
Spencer in the corner. Baseline drive. Step through. Fouled. And Cam Spencer will go to the line for 2.
Really?
I think they called it on the shot, yeah.
Really?
I thought
that didn't look like the shot.
Grant Nelson, undersized, does not matter, taking it to the shot blocker, Donovan Klingon. That's how sometimes you just got to do it. You got to take it right to their chest.
Right in the chest. just got him off a little bit. Not an offensive foul. He didn't lower the shoulder. Just told Donovan Clingan to get the hell out of my way.
Spencer at the line for 2. Makes the first.
Cam Spencer, one of the best free throw shooters in the country.
Transfer from Rutgers after, I believe it was Loyola?
Loyola, Maryland.
Yeah.
Spencer lining up his second free throw as there's under 13 minutes to go here.
He misses the second free throw.
Ooh.
Rebound gathered by Diabate and the Tide.
Be a 2-point game.
They can tie or take the lead depending on shot selection. Something to note as well, Grant Nelson 3 fouls. Nelson working on Caravan. Samson Johnson and Diarra in for the Huskies. Newton and Clingan sit down. Nelson, right hook goes. We're even at 56. Huskies can't pull away from the Tide just yet.
Who do you guys got? Alabama or UConn? Type UConn or type Bama. If you're in the Alabama Football Report channel stream, type those RTRs, roll Tide, roll, we're tied.
Samson Johnson, left side, handoff to Caravan. He hands it over to Spencer. Spencer coming off a curl. Bottled up right now, gets to the rim, fades away, can't connect. What a board by Stephon Castle offensively for the Huskies. Getting a second chance opportunity, drawing a foul and going the line for 2. The freshman from Georgia, Stephon Castle, playing the game of his career.
I mean, I was impressed that he could get that shot off there in between 2 Alabama defenders after wrestling away the basketball.
Would not be denied. Got the rebound, fought 2 or 3 Crimson Tide members, split them, and then got to the rim.
You know, Stephon Castle, he might not be a superstar in the NBA, but he's going to be one heck of a role player.
He is fantastic. Athletic, knows what to do with the ball in his hands, can finish at the rim. And as he develops more and more of a jump shot, he'll be dangerous, man. Makes the first free throw. Many people believe he could actually be a top 3 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
And so that might point to how weak this draft class is, but
Yeah.
I think you'll find a lot of good players in this draft if you're thinking
There might not
NBA.
be a ton of superstars, but I think you're going to find
You're
a lot of
find
contributors.
a lot of good role players.
Contributors, a lot of specialists
People
out there.
don't want to say is good, but role players are absolutely
They win championships.
necessary.
You know who he could be like, in my opinion? Maybe a Bruce Brown type.
Ooh, don't hate that. Better shot, though, potentially, if he
Yeah.
develops it.
Yep.
Nelson drive inside, finds a cutter, dropped. Diabate kicks it out. It's Estrada for
Short.
3 in the lead. Unable to get it to fall, though. Spencer gets the rebound. Spencer out and running for the Huskies. Finds a trailer, is denied. Now it's Castle. Castle met by Mark Sears. Castle drives right. Step back. Working on Nelson. Floater is good.
Smooth.
The kid is putting on a display on the biggest stage.
Smooth.
Lead back up to 4 for Connecticut. Sears looking to answer with a triple. Too strong. Great box out by Caravan, allowing Spencer to come in for the board. Spencer trailing Caravan. He thought about a 3. Back to Spencer. Ooh,
Good close out there.
Close out by right shell. Deterring any type of shot. Samson Johnson on the roll. Two-handed slam. And UConn on a 6-0 run to go up by 6.
It's a game of runs. Who you got? Can Alabama respond here after 6 straight by the Huskies?
Sears has it, driving on Castle, hands it off the right shell. Right shell doubled. Inside pass to Abate. Rejected by Johnson. 5-on-4 for UConn. Diarra to Castle. Corner 3. The freshman doesn't go. Caravan, offensive rebound, put back, good! 8-0 run for UConn. That is the lead for the Huskies. Nate Oats calls a timeout and needs to talk some things over with the Tide, but the inevitable run by UConn might have been happening just right now.
And just like that, they can open up a game quicker than and more efficiently than anybody else in the country. That's why they're the number 1 overall seed.
Oh, wow.
Wow, is right.
My goodness. I'm seeing now that someone got timed out. I don't know whoever's watching on Alabama. I appreciate you helping. I was not able to see that chat. I don't know what he was saying, but appreciate you guys. Whoever's doing that.
Yeah.
I also appreciate, were you in the Alabama chat?
I was not.
Okay, then I really do appreciate whoever did that. I don't know what he was doing. I also appreciate Prize Picks for sponsoring today's live show. They are the best daily fantasy sports app and platform in the market, if you're asking me. Join over 3 million users on a daily basis. All you got to do is pick more than or less than on 2 or more player stat projections to watch the winnings roll in. It really is that simple. And as April is here, that is when the biggest moments on the hardwood tip off, whether it be the Final Four for the men's, whether it be the national championship on Sunday for the women's or Monday for the men's. They have it all that make playing daily fantasy sports and watching basketball so much more fun. Get in on the playoff action and win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks. The world's best players take the game to a new level, and you should get in on the action. My picks for tonight's games that took the more than on Zach 80 25.5 did not work out for me, but this was a flex play. If you didn't know what a flex play is, it allows you to get one incorrect, whether it be on a 6-player entry, you can go 5 of 6, 4-player 3. On this specific case, I can go 2 of 3 and still win my money. Spencer, more than 15.5. He is creeping up on double digits. Kling at 9.5 boards. We'll check in on that a little bit later, but I think he only still has like 3 or 4. I might be in trouble. But I still enjoy playing Prize Picks every day. You can too by getting a first deposit match up to $100 when you download the app on your local app store and input code CLNS. Or you can go use that link that's in the live chat right now, prizepicks.com/CLNS, and then put in that code CLNS to get a first deposit match up to $100. Wanda says I'm about to sign up on Prize Picks. You should, and if you do, let us know so we can give you some love in the chat.
Use that code CLNS. You get $100. You put in $100, they give you $100 for free. So
for free!
Who doesn't like free money? I know I do. I've been a Prize Picks customer even before they were a sponsor here at Chat Sports. I know Rolly has as well. They came with us at the start of the NFL season last year, and even before the regular season began, me and Rolly were putting Prize Picks in on NFL preseason.
We were having a good time.
It was wild. Baseball as well, mix and match any sport you like, even video competitive esports on there as well. League of Legends, Call of Duty, anything you could find.
I remember we called it Chipotle Sundays. I'd go up to Smitty's crib on Sundays in July and September. We'd watch some preseason football on Prize Picks and have some Chipotle.
I miss those days. All right, 8-point lead here for UConn. Going to be Alabama trying to respond to that 8-0 run as they've been able to over the past couple of stretches.
Think about this. Alabama's had 2 different 7-0 runs in the second half. UConn has had an 8-0 run and a 7-0 run. Ball batted out of bounds. Good defensive play by Caravan. It will stay with the Tide along the side of the baseline, though.
They tried to find Pringle down low, and it's too soft of a pass there.
And then we're heading to a timeout again.
All right.
And I can't do it, Smitty.
My goodness.
It's hard for me to do it, man. Chris Moore, you know it. Like, the commercial breaks are ridiculous. What it allows us to do, though, is tell you guys to make sure you like the video. Because we are only at 245 likes on our Chat Sports channel, 950 people watching. We want to make this the best atmosphere on YouTube for today's game. And the best way to do that is to hit that like icon because that signals out the stream to other people. Let's get to 300 likes ASAP. We're 56, 55, 54 away right now. Hit that like button, thumbs up icon. It'll help us out dearly.
What he said.
Oh, and look who we got in the chat. Jake Chippa.
Uh-oh.
I agree with the super chat.
This is a wild super chat to be throwing. But we appreciate it as always.
I agree.
Jake Chipper saying, get Smitty off the screen.
I agree.
Listen, I just happen to like college hoops. That's why I stumbled into this live stream, and I'm bringing you guys some coverage here. But our guy Jake Chipper, part of the 76ers Now channel, helps out on the Eagles Now as well. He's a Philly guy, if you couldn't tell by the 2 teams that he works with here at Chat Sports. We love Jake Chipper, even if he's going to throw insults my way, I'll be the bigger man.
75 likes, which
So
means
30,
we're 23 away from
23,
300.
yes.
Come on, folks. Hit that like button.
Alabama plus 8.5. Please, for F's sake, says Randy Suarez. Is that a live line? Must be. because
it was 11.5.
It was 11.5 before the game. Jake Chipper saying, everybody type W Smitty.
Oh, that's not what we need around
Oh,
here.
and he's saying Smitty greater than Rohly. Uh-oh, what a turn of events.
Elvin, appreciate the comment, my friend. We will be live again on Monday night for the national championship game, whether it's Purdue UConn, Purdue Alabama. It does not matter. We will be live, so appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I hope you guys all come back.
Yeah, I hope so too. Maybe my legs won't be fried chicken.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, man.
Whatever this very small print username is saying, Ruff says, I'm a big Bama fan and feel lucky just to be here. We are very mediocre. Keep seething Bama haters.
Chipper says, oh,
it's
boy.
It's not Chipper. It's his partner in crime, Chase Sr.
Thought y'all were at Hero. What are they putting our stream up on the big screen? That'd
Hey,
be electric.
we probably deserve it.
Imagine us. You've been a Hero, right?
Yeah.
Imagine our live stream
main
on the big screen.
Oh,
That's what we're watching.
Chat Sports, Final Four coverage. Chase Sr.
F the Bonnies. I agree.
No! Are you kidding me?
Lead is 8 for the Huskies. They find Mark Sears off the curl. 10 minutes to go in this game. Caravan with a rejection on Sears. Second time Caravan has rejected a Sears shot in the last 2 minutes. Castle has it right wing now. He's been unbelievable for UConn so far. Newton looking to find Caravan off a curl. Can't get it to him. Newton now will get a screen from Johnson. Newton working right side. Baseline drive out to Diarra in the corner. 5 on the shot clock. Diarra, floater. Wedgie!
Yeah!
We have a wedgie in the Final Four. Phoenix, Arizona has it all, including a wedgie on an 8-foot floater. You don't see it often. It's going to be a jump ball. I believe it is Husky ball.
Yes.
But a wedgie! If you have been around chat sports long enough, it's actually Alabama ball.
Yes,
I was
UConn
mistaken.
started the half.
If you've been around chat sports long enough to stumble across anytime I am on a basketball stream, I go nuclear when we get a wedgie on the floor.
It's great.
I mean, it's the best thing in all of sports. Sears doubled by Castle and Johnson, picks up his dribble, back over to Nelson, playing with 3 fouls right now. Haven't seen a lot of Nic Pringle in this second half. He also has 3 fouls. Strada driving on Diarra, getting to his left hand, fouled on the floor by Diarra, so Estrada's going to get to the line, looking to break a 3-minute scoreless streak for the Crimson Tide.
He's not going to get to the line, is he? It'll be a baseline.
What do you mean? They called that on the floor?
Yeah, they
These
pointed on
refs
the floor.
fucking suck. Excuse my language. Jalen Stewart into the game for the Huskies.
Only UConn's second foul of the second half here, so
I can't believe
they're
they
playing
called that
pretty
on the
clean
floor.
ball according to the officials.
Can't believe they didn't call it, or they called it on the floor. Sears drives, a lot of contact, no call. It doesn't matter.
Patient.
The crafty veteran left-handed guard gets to the rack for a layup. Lead down to 6. Sears up to 16 for the game. Samson Johnson swings the ball all the way around. It's now Castle on the left wing. Screen for Johnson. Castle drives, pushes off, hangs, leaves it short. Rebound gathered by Alabama. Outlet to Griffen. Here comes the Tide.
They want to run.
Estrada, baseline. Oh, he dribbled off his foot.
He had the angle, too, to go up for a reverse layup. And he just couldn't convert there, couldn't keep it under control.
Castle with the defense there. Both Alabama and UConn. I believe the number I just saw were shooting each 8 of... See, I'm not going to say the number because I already forgot it.
Alabama up to 7 turnovers now in the ball game. UConn still only at 3. So they're taking care of the basketball. They're not fouling. But they're still only up 6. I think this game is going to come down to it.
If you're in the Alabama chat, walk. Those are some serious allegations that we don't know are true, so we're not going to be home for you to spinning them. See ya. Tristan Newton with a triple to put UConn up 9, largest lead of the game for the Huskies.
Uh-oh.
And who knows? Oh, they're saying that's Castle? I thought it was Newton.
They do look a little similar when they're far away, at least.
I think that's a screw up by TBS. I'm pretty confident that was Tristan Newton.
Going to be a foul called here
on Castle as he grabbed Nic Pringle coming around a screen.
Just can't do it. Can't be bear hugging.
Danny Hurley is asking for a flop. 9-point lead, 67-58, UConn in front. Estrada has it. Can the Bama offense get going from three again? Sears inside, and one!
Move!
Mark Sears slithering his way to the rack, plus the foul. Chance to get it back to a 6-point game. We've talked about his comps to Jalen Brunson in the past on this live show, and I tell you what, the more I watch him, the more I just can't disagree.
I mean, what Marshall Green loves to tell us about Jalen Brunson is that he plays so well off of 2 feet. Mark Sears is the exact same. Very crafty, super patient, and efficient around the rim.
Oh, chance to get it to a 6-point game. Just about 8 minutes to go in this Final Four matchup between Alabama and UConn. Winner will face Purdue on Monday evening in the national championship game. Sears converts the 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
I'm not going to lie, it felt pretty big for Alabama.
It did. It really felt like the game could have really got out of hand. As it was at 9. Gets down to 6. Castle, it was his 3rd foul. They say he's got 21. I still think they credited him with that 3. I thought it was Newton. I don't know. Newton, either way, out to Stewart. Jalen Stewart drives, picks up his dribble, kicks it back out to Newton. Pull-up 3 for Tristan. Too strong. Rebound, Cam Spencer. Offensively, he was fouled on a reach-in.
Was he, though?
And we'll head to a TV timeout. 7 minutes, 34 seconds to go in this ball game. It will be Husky ball alongside the baseline. We have 1,100 people watching on Chat Sports, 250 on our Alabama channel. If you have not already, hit that sub button. Let's get to 369,200. We're going down right now. That is unacceptable. If you are subscribed to our Chat Sports channel, let me know by spamming me down below. We are going to sub-only mode for the rest of the game. So show your allegiance to Chat Sports by typing me in the chat. If you can't type me, it's because you're not subscribed. Best way to do that.
Absolutely.
Hit that sub button.
Hit the sub button.
GR, Marybeth, Tyman spamming me. Let's see how many people subscribe. Already got 4. Joey Ward, Sam Patton, 5 people have subscribed now. If you're a new subscriber, by the way, let me know and I'll show some extra love. Bama Lace, Viswa, Baller, William, James, Tyman. Hit that sub button. Taylor, Joey DeLuca. Baller's a new subscriber. Shout out to you. Joey Ward is a new subscriber. Brian D. Bama Lace is new as well. I know Tyman isn't new, but I appreciate him spamming me. Dennis Rodenbush, me. Sheikah. AK saying on Bama, he hates basketball so much. Stressful sport. Stressful sport.
Baller says he's subbed today. Michael Dexter says he's new. Matthew Petey fan in the chat spamming
Hank
those
Bauer
memes.
says Nic Rohloff, brand new Roll Tide. I don't know what that means, but I'll take the acceptance. Petey fan, me, Rod Parr, Tide rolling, yeet, yeet. Frank, I love, it, your favorite dirty blonde. Nice.
I'm a little dirty blonde here.
You are dirty blonde.
A little bit.
Chris says Bulldogs are better.
We got a Georgia fan. We got an UGA fan in here.
Lance says me, I'm new. Appreciate you subscribing.
And Chris said I was an Alabama fan before. That is not true at all. I'm a fan of the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. I'm just looking to get a close game, tight one down the stretch here for Alabama UConn.
Lance says here for the prize picks. That's even better.
Use code CLNS, get a $100 deposit match.
We'll tell you about them one more
out.
time. One more time in the stream.
Stick with us. It's good to hear about.
We are 13 subscribers away, by the way, until 69,200, which would be very beneficial.
Yeah.
Hit that sub button, folks.
We upload 2 videos every day around the hottest topics of sports, whether it be NFL, college football, NBA, college basketball, which we've been covering a lot here on the channel as well. NFL draft content is heating up. toward the end of this month.
That
We're
it
going to
is.
be live for that. We're live for this. We're going to be live on Monday for the national championship. So much content coming at you as well. NBA playoffs coming up. We'll be live for games there as well. So stick around. You're not going to regret it. It's 100% free. Subscribe to the channel.
Barry's a new sub. Appreciate you. The freshman Stephon Castle leading the way for the Huskies. 21 points, as I guess he did get credited with that three-pointer.
Rob Parr saying, War Eagle, go UConn.
Only 9 subscribers away from hitting 369,200. They inbound it and swing it around to Caravan, looking to free up Spencer. They can't find him. Instead, they get it into Klingon. He's doubled. Klingon goes up strong and lays it up and in. UConn gets to a very nice 69 points. 69-61 is the score. 9-point lead was as large as it got for the Huskies today. It's at 8 right now. Klingon now with 12 on the ball game. Estrada working the other way, probing inside. Rejected by Klingon, swung out to Sears. His three not able to go. Outlet to Spencer. And the Huskies will slow it down a little bit, use some clock. Swing it over to Tristan Newton. Newton, the veteran guard, the former Eastern Carolina transfer. Newton driving on Sears, loses the handle, regains, reset the offense, 10 on the shot clock. Newton calling the shots, gets a screen. It's an illegal screen on Stephon Castle. That is foul number 4 on the talented freshman who leads the Huskies tonight with 21 points. And on cue, Diarra off the bench for the Huskies checks in to put Castle on the bench.
I mean, Castle's had a phenomenal game. It'd be very unfortunate to see him get ejected from this one due to fouling out.
Can't do that. I mean, it was such a clear illegal screen, too. Sears drives inside. Guarded by Diarra, nothing there, so resets the offense. Sears gets a handful of screens, kicks it over to Right Shell inside. Good defense by the Huskies. Right Shell, deep three, off glass, no good. Klingon with the board, and the Huskies get yet another stop. And as we get closer and closer to the 4-minute mark in this game, it's not over. But the Huskies' defense is kind of going like an anaconda right now, strangling this Alabama offense.
Only 28 points for the Crimson Tide so far in the half.
Klingon inside, layup, no good. Rebound, Alabama gets it. Foul on Spencer, going for the loose ball. It'll be the 6th foul on Connecticut in this half. So next time, the Tide will be in the bonus. And that just is more evidence of Klingon's inability to score when he gets the ball in the low post.
Just no bag.
He is very, very good defensively, good on the glass, as bad as a big man can be in post moves.
Yeah.
In relative to size.
Let's call it limited offense.
Like, I'm not kidding. I think I might have better post footwork than Donovan Connie.
Rolly's dominant down low.
I mean, I had to be. 6'2" center, baby. Grant Nelson, 3, needed it. Felt like they needed it.
And what
did we say at the half? That 3-point shooting that was 8 of 11 for the Tide at the break wasn't sustainable. 2 of 12 from 3 in the second half for the Tide.
Speaking of 2, we did hit 369, 200 subscribers here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for showing it along with us.
Spencer, fadeaway, no good. Klingon, rebound, put back.
Easy.
It's a 10-point lead. Largest of the night for the Huskies. 71-61.
Alabama's going to have to score in bunches.
Sears rejected by Klingon. Oh, there's a foul. What do they call this on?
Did they call the foul on the Grant Nelson rebound there? Because that was the cleanest block in history of basketball.
Klingon with a great offensive rebound and then just absolutely got to the cookie jar on the top shelf to reject that Sears layup. Kling Kong is what they call him. And my goodness, he can really just be a force inside.
Yeah, man.
Klingon's 3rd block of the game. UConn has 7 as a team.
4:57 left to go in this one, under 5 minutes, and time is running out for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Ray Gamer says, I'm terrified of UConn as a Purdue fan. It's a tough matchup, man. But it's games, lot of game left. 5 minutes to go. Alabama at the line as they are in the bonus. You said it correctly, Smitty was on the rebound. So Grant Nelson will be taking 2 free throws after making the first.
Let us know. We are in subscriber-only mode, so let us know who you got. Can Alabama mount the comeback? Type Bama if you think so, as Grant Nelson knocks down the second one. We have an 8-point bowl game. Or type UConn if you think the Huskies are going to be able to hold on in this one.
Stick just says just subscribe. Appreciate you, Stick.
Yes, sir.
Diarra, we'll bring it up. It's Diarra, Carabin, Newton, Spencer, and Klingon for the Huskies. Right shell, Griffen, Estrada, Sears, and Nelson for the Tide. It's crunch time here on our second Final Four game. Spencer inside, free throw line, jumper is true.
Oh, man.
Back to a 10-point lead, and this UConn offense is starting to hum.
They're just keeping them at bay here, aren't they?
They are. And 2 of 10 from 3 in the second half for Alabama is not going to cut it. Nelson, right hook over Klingon, rattles in and out. Newton with the board, and it feels like a bucket here will go a long way with 4 minutes to go in this game. Newton gets a double screen. Gets it to Klingon.
One-on-one down low.
Poor spacing by UConn, but it's a right hook for Klingon, who airballed it. Rebound gathered. 3-on-3 for the Tide. Sears inside, fouled on the floor, and he will have a 1-on-1 situation when we come back from timeout. Exactly 4 minutes to go in this ball game. Are the Tide going to be able to stage a run in the final 4 minutes? That will remain to be seen. And we do have to tell everyone about Prize Picks one last time on today's show. We'll check in with how my picks are doing as well. Prize Picks, the best way to stay engaged and have a lot of fun watching sports in the biggest moments during the postseason and beyond. Pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. I made some picks for tonight's game. I took the more than on Zach Edey in the first game on points. He did not get more than, so I did not hit that. But luckily, I did a flex play, which means I only have to get 2 out of 3 right to get money. And I took the more than on Spencer, 15.5. He's got 11. Not dead yet there. Probably feels dead on Donovan Klingon, more than 9.5 rebounds.
He's only, a couple, though,
he's only got 5.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's only got 5.
He had 3 before. He's only gotten 2 since.
Yeah, that's not great for me, Jim. But I did get that first deposit match up to $100 when I went to Prize Picks and download the app, use code CLNS, which means I still got money in the bank to play. You can, too. You can make plays with so many different athletes, whether it be Caitlin Clark, Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, LeBron James, all in one entry. They have it all over at Prize Picks. Get started with them today. Code CLNS, prizepicks.com/CLNS. All right, folks, 4 minutes to go. It's crunch time. 4 minutes until we have our national championship game set. As wild as a season as it has been, are we going to get 2 1-seeds squaring off?
It looks that way right now. Every time that Alabama's kind of inched into this lead, now I know they're going to the line here for 2 to cut it to a single-digit deficit, but UConn's had an answer every time. They make smart decisions with the basketball, haven't been turning it over. Limited fouls. They picked up most of them in the last couple of minutes here. So the way that the UConn's been playing, it's not their best, but it's definitely been enough to keep the Tide at bay over this last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking UConn is going to come out with a victory here.
My guy AS, what's up, my man? Rolling with the Tide.
Rod Parr saying roll, Tears roll. Uh-oh. Got AS saying let's go Bama. Yep. Joey DeLuca saying good game, 4 minutes left. Hey, this
what else can you ask
over.
for?
By no means is this over. We saw Alabama.
All it takes is a little 8-0 run, a couple tray balls, and you're right back into it, folks.
Most of those 8-0 runs.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Alabama student section representing strong.
Looking good and tan. Not like me.
Oh, shit.
It'll be Sears going to the line, if I'm not mistaken.
It is Mark Sears, the leading scorer for Alabama tonight and on the year. He was averaging 24 points a game in the first 4 tournament games.
Got over 1,200 people in the chat right now. Make sure you are subscribed.
Sears makes the front end.
Nails the front end. And we will be back with a live stream here on Monday. National championship. Purdue versus the winner of Alabama and UConn. Sears' second free throw is good. We have an 8-point game with 4 to go.
Sears' mom mirrors his free throw shooting
Like
from the stands.
She air shoots it?
Yeah,
Nice.
and dribbles. Does a dribble too.
Oh,
They just showed in the top corner.
that's pretty sweet.
All right, 8-point game. Castle remains on the bench, the leading scorer for the Huskies tonight with 4 fouls. The freshman 6'6" guard, Caravan 3. It's deep. It's good! Oh, that kind of feels like a shot that means something, folks. 76-65. Caravan with 14 points. Ball on the deck. That's loose. It's going to be a jump ball. It will be Husky ball. And Connecticut can smell a second straight NCAA National Championship appearance as they lead by 11 with 3.5 to go.
Wow. Caravan there with, I know it's early, but could be a dagger.
I'll tell you what, Smitty, I'm willing to say, I know Crimson Tide have a high-octane offense that can get hot quick. If the Huskies score on this possession, I'm willing to call it over.
Oh, man.
I just don't see a way UConn blows a 12-plus lead in the final 3 minutes.
The way
of
that
the
they're
game.
able to take care of the basketball, I couldn't see it.
And make free throws, I don't see it. Feels like you need to stop here if you're Alabama. Diarra, top of the key. They're looking to free up Spencer. Diarra drives left, gets to Klingon.
Good half-court defense so far.
Klingon to Newton. Newton inside, layup, no good. Rebound, gathered by the shortest player on the court by Mark Sears. Sears, transition, deep 3. It goes!
Oh!
Just what the doctor ordered for the Tide. A stop in deep 3. Sears cuts it to an 8-point game. Alabama's not done yet. 2:40 to go. Sears up to 24 points in the game.
Wow. Wow. What a shot.
11 of 22 from 3 as a team, Alabama is. Diarra, top of the key. Calls a timeout. Danny Hurley and the Huskies want to talk things over with 2.5 to go. What a shot from 30 feet.
Oh, way
Mark
longer
Sears.
feet.
Oh, Smitty, I know those eyes don't really work that well.
That was like a 35-footer, no?
31, 32.
Okay.
I mean,
I guess if the line is shorter, I'm
remember, you're thinking if that was as far back as it was from an NBA 3,
That's
absolutely 35.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that was probably, I would say that's 31, 32 feet.
Okay. Still a long-distance shot and nails from Mark Sears. Honestly, I had a feeling it was going in as soon as he came.
I mean, you knew the best player for Alabama wasn't going to go down without a fight. Sears wide open, catch and shoot, in rhythm triple. Absolutely nails from 30 feet.
Wow.
24 points. He's got 3 triples on the game, and Mark Sears just continues to elevate his stock going into the NBA draft in June. I'm telling you right now, he went from middle round, second round pick. I would have him just outside the lottery. I mean, I just see too many Brunson similarities.
You know what's crazy is, like, before the start of last season, he was on nobody's radar. He wasn't even in this Alabama rotation.
Until a certain guard got hurt.
Injuries.
A couple of injuries for the Crimson Tide. Freed up Mark Sears. Oh, what a pass out of the timeout to Klingon for a two-handed dunk. Newton found him on the short roll.
Alabama just can't get stops down the stretch.
And then Klingon! Kling Kong with his 4th block of the game.
Probably
rejecting Nelson.
Biggest block of the game. Biggest block of the season.
2 minutes to go. 10-point lead. A basket ends it if you are UConn. Spencer has it. Under 2 to play. Diarra, everybody standing in Glendale. Diarra to Spencer, curling, drop off, Klingon, exclamation point! 12-point lead! A great set. Klingon saying this is my shit. 4 blocks, 18 points on the game.
1.5 to go. It looks like Alabama's running out of time. Another missed 3.
Rebound fought for it. Will be out of bounds. Off Klingon, staying with the Tide. But how about Klingon just showcasing his ability to protect the rim at a high level? 4 blocks, none bigger than the one he just had on Grant Nelson.
And he gets rewarded on the other end with a 2-hand slam that might seal it for UConn.
Minute 31 to go. Inbounds. Successful. Sears fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
Not what you want.
It's 1-1.
Not what Dan Hurley is happy with there. Scoring the basketball with the clock stopped is not what UConn needs if they want to hold on to this lead.
Bama with a good point. I mean, there's a real possibility UConn wins this game by double digits again.
Yeah.
Yet this was nothing close to a blowout. It was an absolute battle back and forth the entire game.
UConn better. I mean, people in the betting markets With 11 and a half
Oh,
years.
Sears,
my
an 80-plus
goodness.
free throw shooter, misses the front end of 1-1, and that truly will do it.
UConn bettors are feeling a little bit better
Parading.
after that.
Newton, guarded by Sears. This kind of feels like window dressing right now. It should be UConn Purdue in the national title game unless we have a Reggie Miller moment in Glendale. Newton, step back three, dagger. I'll see you on Monday night for UConn Purdue. 83-68, Huskies lead.
Wow, what a cover.
Nelson inside, bucket good. Back to a 13-point game with 54 seconds remaining.
Wow.
Caravan gets it into Newton. The
They're gonna
cool,
have to
calm,
foul.
collected fifth year just hit the game daggering shot a second ago. Spencer, corner. Is Alabama even going to foul is the question.
It looks like they're accepting defeat right now.
It looks like they are accepting defeat. 38 seconds to go. I don't even know if
No foul.
UConn will take another shot. Spencer will at the top of the key, and he'll drain it. This game's going to look much more like a blowout than it actually was, but UConn will win their 11th straight game in the NCAA tournament by double-digit points. They lead by 16 right now. Inside tip good by Alabama, 86-72. That will be your final score as well.
Diarra's down.
Diarra banged up. That is a key. It doesn't look like he's seriously
I think
hurt.
he got hit in the face. I don't think he's actually injured here.
I'm surprised that Spencer pulled the three from the top of the key. Looks like Danny Hurley doesn't have an issue with you putting up the three-point
is
mark.
loving that.
Oh, but UConn will be heading to the national championship game for the second straight year, looking to defend their crown from a year ago. They defeated Miami and then San Diego State to win the Final Four national championship a year from today. This year, looking to defeat Alabama and beat the other one seed to make it to the title game, which is Purdue.
Wow, man.
Purdue-UConn will be your title game.
I'm not going to lie. I know the whole game wasn't a double-digit deficit. It was never a blowout until the last couple of minutes. But
They just find a way to make it not a close game,
they
man.
find a way to erase all doubt down the stretch, and they did so.
Whew.
Yeah, Diarra did take a shot there from Pringle. Oh, they're gonna. I think they're reviewing for a flagrant
For a
right
little
now,
elbow action.
which for overbetters is absolutely
It
massive.
was 160.5, correct?
Yeah, they needed 2 free throws from UConn and an Alabama response on the other end. Hold your popcorn if you're an overbetter right now. This one ain't over for you.
Arthur Butler asks, when is the last time 2 1-seeds matched up for the championship? That would be in 2021 between the first-seeded Baylor Bears and the number 1 seed Gonzaga Bulldogs.
That'd be
Ironically enough, it was actually the 2 top seeds in the entire tournament. Gonzaga was the number 1 overall seed. Baylor was the second number 1 seed. This matchup will be between the number 1 overall seed, UConn Huskies, and the number 3 1 overall seed, which was the Purdue Boilermakers.
That's right. North Carolina was the 4, and Houston was the 2. Alabama beat that North Carolina team in the Sweet 16 on the road to the Final Four, and Houston fell to the Duke Blue Devils, who eventually fell to the team that just fell to Purdue, the NC State Wolfpack. They're in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
So it's been a fun tournament. Maybe not as many buzzer beaters or upsets as everybody would have liked to see. No crazy Cinderella run outside of a Power 5 in NC State, but I would consider that a Cinderella run. I mean, they were down to Louisville. It needed them a bank 3 ball to send it to overtime against Virginia. They needed a lot of breaks to get into this dance, and they made the most of their opportunity, ending up coming up just short of the national title game against Purdue. But I think we're in store for a very, very entertaining championship
I mean, that's
game.
what's why. I mean, listen, it's a national championship. No matter who is going to play, it's going to be appointment television. But, I mean, Klingon, Edey, Hurley, Painter. Whew.
The 2 guards versus the 2
I'll
guards
tell
up
you what,
top.
though, I just don't see a team beating UConn. Early look ahead. Purdue's playing the best basketball they've played all year long. I don't think there's a team beating the Huskies.
Yeah, man. They just play so sound, and they don't make rash decisions. They play very patiently. They have a lot of different ways they can attack you. They're
I'm already
dominant
starting to think of the
defensively.
matchups, though. That's like my thing. It's like Edey Klingon, like sure, Edie's going to have the advantage, but like across the board from there on out, UConn's got the advantage.
I will say that might be the game where you need to take on Cam Spencer in a Prize Picks.
Yeah. Like, think about it. As they are just going to dribble it out, it is going to be a final in Phoenix. The Final Four is no more. We are down to 2.
Oh,
UConn and Purdue will face off Monday evening for the national championship. I think they just called a foul here, Smitty, by the way.
Wow.
Mark Sears getting a little handsy with Danny Hurley's kid as UConn continues to be undefeated when Danny Hurley's kid plays in the game. Sabermetrics.
That is true.
Sabermetrics. But yeah, back to that. UConn, Purdue. That's your championship game.
That'll be it.
Nate Oats takes Alabama to new heights. First ever Final Four appearance for the Crimson Tide. That's where it ends. The Huskies, I'd consider them the best program in all of college basketball right now, the way they have performed over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about best. Not only the best team, the best program, the best well-oiled machine that we have in the sport.
UConn has 5 national championships. Fun fact about those 5, by the way, they've only been to the big game 5 times. They are a perfect 5-0 in the national championship game. They're going for banner number 6. And to make that record 6-0 Monday night against Purdue.
4 of those national titles coming since 1999. So essentially since the turn of the century, UConn has been arguably the most dominant program in all of college sports.
They had the up and down stretch of when they left the Big East to go to the AAC, but then ever since returning to the best conference in all of college basketball, that is the Big East, they have just been back on the mountaintop of college basketball, looking to bring back-to-back titles back to Storrs, Connecticut, and back-to-back titles to the Big East Conference.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Big East has dominated the 2010s. You had the run in the middle of the 2010s with Villanova, and in the 2020s, you're getting the UConn Huskies. Remember when Dan Hurley said back in 2020, you better get us now.
Yeah.
You better get us now while we're down because we're coming. And here they are, looking to be the first back-to-back national champions since 06-07, the Florida Gators. That's going to be a hell of a game on Monday. I'm really excited.
Arthur Butler asked, record for most tournament wins in a row. Well, it's at least 12 because we've seen a team go back-to-back before. We've never seen a team three-peat, but so how far did that Florida team go the next year?
I'm not sure, actually. They lost a lot of that talent. Remember, Corey Brewer, Joakim Noah, Al Horford, they all decided to come back after being projected NBA picks after the first title game, and then they came back and ran it back for another title. But in the 68 team, or even 64, I know they only had the first 4 for so many years, but in the 64 to 68 team era since 1980, I believe it was, I'm not sure if there hasn't been a three-peat, that's for sure.
No.
And UConn's probably looking at a pretty good resume here as far as the most tournament wins in a row. I know UCLA obviously won a bunch in a row back in the 60s, but it was like 30.
I tell you what, though, Smitty, if UConn ends up winning, could you see Klingon returning for a 3rd year? He's a top 10 pick right now, but could you see him maybe coming back to do something that's never been done in college basketball?
I know they're so dominant in this sport right now, but do you really see an NBA upside for Donovan Klingon?
I mean, I think he could at best be a Rudy Gobert type. Like, think about this. Like, Gobert has absolutely no bag.
Yeah, 0.
So, like, to me, that is as good as you're going to get with Klingon, which if you take him with a top 10 pick, I mean,
you're
get
banking
Rudy
on
Gobert,
at best
you're
Rudy
very
Gobert.
happy. I mean,
at
but
best.
like that, I mean, anybody would sign up for Rudy Gobert.
I agree. But, yeah, I mean, I could see him coming back, maybe filling out a little more, maybe working on his back-to-the-basket game more and expanding his offensive abilities.
Like, think about it. I like Alex Caravan, but at best, he's a mid-second round pick. So I would assume he would be okay to return. Tristan Newton's a 5th year, so he's gone. I'm pretty sure Cam Spencer filed for a potential another year of eligibility.
That'd be electric.
Stephon Castle's gone.
He's gone.
Freshman, talented. He's going to be a top 10 pick.
I believe.
Oh, what'd you say?
Diarra is back.
Diarra will be back. But if Klingon and Caravan both returned, I mean, that team would be ranked number 1 in the country.
100%.
And then you talk about transfers coming in, more freshmen.
Oh, if you think people aren't going to want to come in droves to this UConn program out of the transfer portal, you'd be sorely mistaken because you can't argue with dominance.
And then you still have Samson Johnson off the bench.
Yep.
Freshman Jalen Stewart. And I think his name's Salman Ball off the bench, who's done some nice things this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, UConn set up for a while to continue to be one of the elites in college basketball. Now, if they end up winning on Monday, that would propel them above North Carolina, above Duke. They're already above Kansas, I believe, in national championships. Isn't that insane? I mean, we don't normally think about them as a true blue blood, but over the last 2 seasons, they've kind of weaseled their way into that conversation.
It's been unreal.
Nuts.
All right, that's going to do it for today's live show. I appreciate everybody who has joined us for both the NC State-Purdue game, the UConn-Alabama game. It's Tyler Smith and Nic Rohloff signing off here. We will see you live again on Monday evening for Purdue-UConn. This will be your duo, so make sure you come back for that. If you're watching on the Alabama Football Report, I appreciate the 8,000 people that tuned in throughout the night. Sorry for your Crimson Tide, but if you want to watch the national championship game, well, subscribe to our Chat Sports channel as well. Peace out, everyone. Have a good rest of your weekend. Like I said, see you Monday.
See you Monday.